That has to come.
What up? What
Hi,
up? What
everyone.
up? What's going
How's
on, young
everybody
folks?
doing this
Happy,
evening?
happy, happy Monday. If you are here in the building, that means you survived the weekend. I'm sure you had a good one. Ours was pretty smooth, I think. Willie, what
It
up there,
was.
young fella? It was. Shannon, what up? Where my twin at? I see him. I see him. I see him out there. I see him. Joseph Harris, what
Hi,
up
Miss
there, big
Ghetto.
fella? That's my motorcycle brother right there. Lawrence Lilly, always in the building. Was popping?
Hello,
Same
Michael Farmer.
OG. Yeah, man. It's good to see everybody.
Hey,
Tap in. What up? What
Calvin.
it do? Money man. Miss Ghetto in the building. Micro
Willie
Farmer.
was
That's
in
that
here
Bronx
early.
bomber. What up there? Who was in here?
I said Willie was in here early.
Oh yeah, always, always. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Badass Stang, Eddie Tactical. What up there, soul brother?
Good.
Corey, what's popping? I seen Eddie shoot out.
Coy.
I seen Eddie shoot a smiley face into a pumpkin today. I was jealous. I was jealous. I got to get the torpedo back out. Take it out of the safe. Mark Thompson, what up, brother? What's popping? One the chamber. Everything is good, family. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yo, it was a good weekend. But today was a pain
You
in
know
the
what?
ass,
It was a
boy.
good weekend. Brian Bridges, but this little girl here, she still didn't have her puppies, and she's very, very clingy. Very.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Yeah, Brian Bridges, what up, brother? Just want to shoot what's popping. So, yeah, listen, y'all. We have been restless because our dog, we have 4 dogs, and our one female, which has been around the male for, I don't know, 4.5, 5 years almost. We never worried about her getting pregnant.
4 or 5
And
years.
all of a sudden, she's pregnant. So, we've been watching her because we think that she's at like her last couple days or whatever, and all these telltale signs are popping up that she's about to have these babies. We never done this shit before, so it's scary. It's scary. So we'll see how it goes. But we thought she was gonna have it
Her
Friday, then Saturday,
temperature
then
is
Sunday.
right. But she's close though, because her temperature is 99.5 and it has to be under 98, right? Under 98.7.
Around
We're
98,
99.5.
something like that,
Yeah. So we're
somewhere in there.
definitely
Howard
right
J, what's up,
there.
brother?
And it's like right.
So close. And these puppies are going to be the cutest things in the world. And she's talking about how she's going to keep 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or all of them. Hell no, brothers and
I'm
sisters,
trying to keep them
not
warm.
happening.
Trying to keep like at least 2 to 1.
Nope.
1 to 2.
Nope.
Listen,
Nope.
we still got your one dog. Your
Done with dog.
one dog is a whole handful.
What?
Rock.
He's a pain in the ass.
Rock is a
But
whole.
that's why I don't want no more.
You guys just don't know.
He's the
my
cutest
type,
one of them
man.
all.
He's your twin. No.
G
No,
Mama
he's
Bros,
not.
what's up, girl?
No, Cartel is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I tells.
Either
I
way,
think
Sound-
my
we
dogs
had a
look
fun
great.
weekend. Like I said, we
Hands
didn't
more
rest
handsome
much.
than yours.
Man. But either way, we were able to finally get to the range, man. First of all, shout out to everybody that hits us up on that ammo fund, keeps us out there doing content, creating content. We appreciate everybody to the
Right.
fullest. I tell you, we were able to get out there and shoot up some pumpkins and water bottles, all kinds of stuff that we can't usually do at our other range. So we were able to go out there and smash some things up. Fam. What up, 2A in LA? What's popping, brother? So we had a
Wait,
good
2L,
time, man. It was a fun
2A
weekend.
in LA?
in the building.
Listen, 2A in the LA be over there on in Tory Brain Games making it on the board. Him and Rodney Brady.
Oh my God. Hey, yes, yes. 2A in LA be over there. We got this little, it ain't a quiet corner, but when we want to kind of relieve ourselves from the YouTube world, it's still on YouTube, but we go play this game on this channel called Tory Brain Games. And it's fun, but it has nothing to do with gardening
Oh,
or firearms or prepping or nothing.
you gotta
It's
leave.
just
Okay.
stuff to jog your mind. And we have fun over there. And we done caught Rodney Brady over there, 2A in LA over there. Yo, it's a good little spot. Y'all swing through. Definitely, definitely. Yeah, man. I missed some people
Listen,
coming in.
I
So what
have
up?
to.
Gallo, Gallo, what's popping? Sorry, sweetie.
I was saying there's another game show that I be playing in. It's BDBGP. And that one's fun also. I have a lot of fun with him. The one where you have to unscramble the letters and stuff. So you guys, for
Yeah, that's
real,
a lot of
like
fun. Definitely a
sometimes
lot
you
of
just gotta get away from all types of YouTube and just have fun. Just so these
fun.
different game channels I've been really plugging into having a lot of just fun, not stressing
Yeah,
about canning two-way or gardening and stuff like that. So
that's right. Silverback, what up? Southern Belle, what up, young girl? Liberty Acres, what up, real deal? What's popping? So yeah, yo, listen, man, and it's fun. Those types of things are fun for husband. I wouldn't even say husband and wife because family, because Alex be on it too.
right,
But it's fun for the family. It's almost like playing a board game, but you can just chill up in the bed and get on the phone and start try to solve these words, puzzles, all that mystery, blah blah blah. It's a lot of fun.
right.
A lot of fun for anybody who has time to go do it. I feel like today is Connect Four. That's my joint. And Uno. I'm a Uno fan. I feel
I
like
smell
today
from you
is
now.
I feel like Sunday
You be
today.
cheating.
No, all right.
Yo,
I used to cheat, but I turned the leaf. I turned the
turn the
leaf.
leaf.
You turned a leaf.
Leaf.
Okay.
I turned the
Ray
leaf.
official, brother, where you been? Where you been? How you feeling, brother? Yeah, man. Fat guy with guns in the building. Salute to you. Yeah, man. There he goes,
And
babe. There
there
he
goes
goes.
Rodney Brady.
There
There
he
he
goes.
goes.
That dirty mother sucker.
He
Rodney
running late.
Brady.
Him and two-way because they was over there at Tori's brain game.
Look, 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 look. Rodney Brady is on the board. On
The dream
fire.
team is on fire.
Oh man.
Hey,
Madman, what's
bad
popping,
man.
brother? Independent, what
Yeah,
up there,
Pepper
young lady?
101.
Oh man, Prepper 101 slid up in here all real
Yeah,
quick
he
and all that.
did.
What's
OG
up,
true.
Prepper?
Holla. See what I did there? Dollar and holla.
Hey, Zach. Zach is in here too. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Mm.
Zach popped up on you.
Yeah, I don't see him.
I'm talking about. I thought I seen little Zach.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Wait, you seen Little Zach?
Yeah, Independent Many United. Is that not
No,
little Zach?
no.
Oh,
Little,
I
wait, what are
thought
you talking about? Unique prepping?
is that's his other name. Unique
Yeah,
Prepping.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. That's a dope game. Yeah, it's fun, yo. Definitely fun. Yeah, man. So listen, we got a touchy topic tonight, and I tried to have this conversation. Believe me, before I get this going, I tried to have this conversation with a young lady in a Dollar General earlier today, and I open carry. I'm in Georgia, South Georgia. I open carry, and a young lady at the register asked me what caliber I was carrying, which sparked, just a regular firearms conversation. So me, I decided, hey, listen, if you're not doing nothing tonight at 8 o'clock, we'll be going live to discuss a topic, and it's about teachers being ready, or do we think teachers and students and parents are ready for teachers to carry firearms in schools? And oh my God, I should have never said nothing. She went on
She was
a rant.
upset.
Oh, she was, and she carries. That's the crazy part. She carries. We had a conversation about firearms, and she's completely against it. But hopefully, she pops in tonight. Be able to, voice her opinion. Get her, what up? Be able to voice her opinion on it and kind of reiterate what she said to me. But she had some valid points. You know what I'm saying? So tonight we're going to be talking about it. Um, do we feel that we are prepared to accept teachers having firearms, carrying firearms, not just having, carrying firearms within a school? How should we go about it? What are the pros? What are the cons? Are there any stipulations that should come along with it? Gunrilla Rick, what up, brother? What's popping? Nola Saint in the building. Urban, what up, girl? So yeah, I mean, yo, there's a lot of things that come along with it. And Sigma, what up, brother? I ain't seen Sigma since Nashville.
That's
So yeah, there's a lot of things that come along with it. And even if you stand on how you feel about it, there's another side to kind of oppose that feeling, and
right.
it's valid points. I can't, I no way or another can I agree with either side fully. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of ways to look at it. But tonight, um, Sunday, what up, what up, what up? So tonight, I want to be able to. Yo, Eddie on one. He always on one. So tonight, I want to be able to, kind of go over the edge of what everybody thinks, but I need y'all to come on the panel and talk to us about it. That's the biggest. If you got certain ideas and stuff like that, I want to pay attention so much to what people have to say, because this is a topic that's going to be difficult to kind of type out your feelings, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be dropping the link like I always do. It's an open forum. Y'all pop in as you can. I'll give my opinion, or matter of fact, sweetie, you give your opinion, and then I'll see if I could play off you.
My opinion is I'm in the middle as well. One thing
Yeah.
is I honestly feel elementary school, no. I don't think elementary school should carry because those kids are irresponsible. Middle school is difficult
What did
because
the
of the
kids got
simple
to do
fact
with it though?
because kids are curious. You don't think when you was a kid or you was in school, you didn't try to go into your teacher's desk and stuff?
Well, here's the thing. That's where I feel that if they are to carry in school, they're carrying in school. They're not putting it in a
So they're
lockbox.
not leaving it in a desk. They have to have
No,
it on them at all
have
times.
to be responsible for that one person, for that one firearm, has to be responsible and account for every single round in the magazine, every single round that goes through it. You know what I'm
Sorry.
saying? So yeah,
Right.
I would never approve a firearm be in any kind of lockbox, any kind of safe bag, none of that. Just my opinion.
Okay.
But some people might agree with you, like they should be locked in a specific place.
Because honestly, I mean, why do you feel like they need to carry it at all times? I mean, they're up on by the chalkboard. They're sometimes having one-on-one with kids. So I would say I would feel more comfortable with it being in a desk.
Would you? Now,
But
what if it goes down, intruder into the school, and you're not at the desk? You're in the gym
I
class.
mean,
You're on
when
the
you're in the
field.
classroom, yes, but I guess I understand when I guess, moving these children from, see,
Spot.
how our elementary and middle school is only the
Hmm.
elementary and middle school. They can go from building to building.
Yeah, yeah.
For so like the gym, they have to leave their hall or their grade building to go to the gym.
Gotcha.
Certain grades have to go to the main building to have lunch. So it's set up like a campus basically. And I think that the high school should be set up like that, not the elementary school kids,
Understood, but still in
right?
all.
but right,
the
but
immediate
at the
response
same
is going to save lives, in my
right,
opinion. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So that's why I feel that it should be a carry thing. Patrick Irie, what going, brother? Chris, what's up there, soldier? What's going on? Somebody else popped in here. DJ Play Nice, what's up? It's been a long time, young fella.
Proper 101. I don't understand you.
What he do?
His wife's homemade biscuits. Ain't no bullet getting through him. Which one? Say it, Al. We're
All
not
right.
in class. We're not in class right now. We're out of class.
But we talking about class, aren't we?
Go ahead.
So I think that teachers should have their firearms on their hips at all times. One, if they put it in a desk, like we have this desk and it has like this drawer. What happens if you lift it up and the kids panic? That's gonna create a panic situation.
Mhm.
Two, what Dad was saying, what happens if you're not at the desk?
Well, if they moving from out of the class to a different section of the school, then yes, I think they should carry. But if they're a class where they're just in the class, I think they should be able to have it
Some form
in
of
the
hidden
desk.
lockbox or
Yeah,
something like that.
right, right.
Okay. Yo, it's too many good answers for me to highlight, man. I'm
Just
going.
because think about it, like a gym teacher. How would you feel with a gym teacher carrying and they're running and everything else? I mean, I go jogging with mine, but still, all in all, I don't think I would want a gym teacher to be carrying as he's teaching his class.
Uh, I don't know. I wouldn't be against it. What's up there, young fella? Hey, Homer, if you could hear me, I think you're muted.
Oh.
Look, real deal pacing in his cell. Hold on, there you go. Hey,
You're
Homer,
right,
if you can hear me, I think you're
Rodney.
muted.
You're muted. We still can hear you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, man. Chris, what up? What up? What's popping? Okay. You like that old uncle? Come turn the TV for me. Real deal. What's going on, brother?
Oh man, not much. I am tired.
It's a Monday.
I have to use a CPAP machine to sleep.
It's beating you up right now?
I suffocate when I sleep. I can't breathe, and my machine broke.
Oh shit!
No,
it's not funny, but it's funny.
It is. It just reminds me the crap hits the fan. There ain't no electric. I'm SOL, man.
Look, Michael Farmer probably got his Bluetooth hooked up to a shower or something. Joe Vi, what up? Let me run through these names real quick before we get going. Big Fish, what's popping? Chris, man, it's good to see you.
of course.
Shoot. Man. A lot of people popped in here, man. I'm so behind, and there's a lot of good stuff being put up. Shoot. All right, sorry,
Yeah.
real deal. All yours.
So I believe that school teachers should carry in school, and I mean, like you were saying, carry. They must be on them at all times. Obviously, it should be they should have training, pass a background check, all that good stuff. Not all teachers should carry. Only the men, because the women teachers ain't mature enough to carry guns. No.
Damn.
Only joking. Only joking.
You saw me split.
You know, I never thought I'd have to do this. Shout out to RGG. The things said on this panel are not always of my opinion or my blessing. Just in case. All right.
I'm just joking.
I know.
But yeah, and I mean, they should get training, just like more than 8 hours or 5 hours or whatever. They should get like tactical training, that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what?
And they should get a bump in
like
pay.
that.
If they're going to carry a gun and take that responsibility, they need to be
Right.
paid.
You know what?
And they should get
I
a bump
agree
in
with you.
If they're going to carry a gun and take that responsibility.
Homer.
Oh, I'm here. Oh, I'm here. All right. Yeah, because I just I didn't hear his comment because I was on my phone upstairs. I had to come downstairs and set up the computer. Yeah, I think that to go off what y'all was saying is I believe teachers should have guns in school. All right, not every single one of them, but if you're like yourselves, responsible gun owners, due to the situation that's been going on from America, we're not talking about last year I just live up the road from Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
You know, the first tragedy, like hardcore tragedy in the elementary school, which is only 5 minutes from where I'm sitting right now. It's 5 minutes from me.
Yeah.
I'm in Connecticut, right? Y'all all hear about Sandy. $1 billion this man got to pay the family for doing this crap.
Yeah.
So our schools here are locked down. You can't, as a parent, you can't even get into the school. There's a locked door with a camera. You're not even allowed to come pick up your kids. If you call your kids early, it's a guy looking like him, the guy next to you, pushing your kid out the door. You know, like you can't even come in the school. You can't, as a parent, you can't even come in. It's almost like prison. One door's here, a door's here, right? When you come to get your kid is put in that door like how you do at a post office. The door's closed behind your kid, and then they let your kid out. Mm-hmm. It goes with you. So there's no entering the school at all.
Let me ask y'all both a question now, because you do believe that they should allow a limited, I'm assuming a limited amount of well trained, unlimited.
Not in one. I believe if you're a responsible gun owner like yourself, you went through your background check, and if you are responsible, because you got to remember, a lot of gun owners ain't going to want, a lot of teachers ain't going to want a gun, period, right? Because they're going to feel just like some of y'all here, you don't want to carry a gun around children. But if you're a responsible gun owner like yourselves and others that follow the 2A program, right? You went through the background check and you just happen to be a teacher, you should be able to carry a gun.
No.
I guarantee all those people that had lost children would have wished one of those teachers had a gun on them. Seriously. Just because it didn't happen to us, we go, oh, no, I don't want a gun. I don't want a gun. But I guarantee if you ask any of those families that lost children in the last 5 or 10 years, between the colleges that had mass shootings, the schools that had mass shootings, they would have said they would have wished one out of them 40 teachers in that school had a gun on them that day. And that's it. Not saying every teacher need to have a gun on you. It's just if you're a responsible gun owner and you're a teacher, you went through all the fingerprint, because that's why that person's around you with your children, because they've been fingerprinted, they've been vetted, they are seem to be, whatever, responsible. And they went through guns, they're a gun owner, a licensed gun owner with no mental illness, whatever the situation, you guys still go back to that to be able to carry it into school. So there's going to be some more, it's not going to be clean cut, but you got to put those things in perspective. As far as I'm concerned, he has no mental illness, he's not dealing with depression, so hopefully he can get a clearance where he can carry a gun in the school to give you a frame of mind, at least 2 or 3, even if it doesn't matter. Teachers have a gun in the school. Mm-hmm.
So, quick question. Do you feel like every year they should be able to do an evaluation to make sure they every year?
Just like they do a CDL person. You got to go take a physical or whatever. You got to make the requirements to keep your CDL license as a truck driver. Every 2 years, every 1 year, whatever. You be back to police officers do it every year. I mean, no, every 3 years, I believe police officers in New York City, they go to the range and they get what they call evaluated for their performance.
Yeah. So now here's a true honest thought, because I do believe that it should be allowed, and taught and some training, extensive training for some teachers. But I do know that I've experienced teachers with alcohol problems, teachers with abuse problems at home, teachers with abuse problems in the school, teachers with bad, how can I say this, relationships or out of content relationships in school. And I feel that just because they pass these evaluations don't mean that there's still, just like the police officers, there's still some shit going on in their heads. And we, would have to put our kids in those scenarios and situations. You know what I'm saying? Rodney Brady, what up there, brother?
I'm chilling.
New York.
What up? As a person who's taught,
New York, knocking this down.
As a person who was taught before, everybody just because you could pass a background check, the fingerprint check, does not guarantee you don't have some mental issues. Because I could tell you, there was some people I worked with. I wouldn't trust them around my kids. I just could not, because some people just they snap. People do snap. You just don't know what it's like once they leave that classroom and you go into an area where there's nothing but educators amongst themselves. Some people got some major shit going on in their lives, and you don't want to put them in a situation where it's going to push them over the edge. Trust. And then you also got to take into account. You give somebody they're okay to carry a handgun. Let's be real. We got some bigger kids nowadays, and some of these kids have some major emotional problems. Who you could have all the firearms training, jiu-jitsu training, wrestling training, size and strength will supersede that situation. I've seen it happen. I take my boys to their jiu-jitsus and karate, and there's some kids out there, man. I feel bad for the head guy of the dojo, because some of these kids are big, and he's trying to teach them. They're still grappling him down because of just the raw strength. You know what I mean? So you just can't put anybody and everybody just because they're a teacher in that position.
I get that.
Exactly.
There are definitely some negatives, but like Michael Farmer had said before, there's going to be times in people in certain situations that went through it that are like, man, I wish somebody had a firearm.
Facts.
So
but, all right,
they gotta be qualified. Not how many gun owners do we know that we's like, wow, that guy owns a gun, or they own a gun but they never shoot it?
How many cops? How many police officers?
Most cops never shoot.
I know. They're not.
How many police officers do we know?
No.
That are qualified.
And still here's the other thing too.
You know what I'm saying? So
you got to take into account some people's religious or their moral values. Look what happened here the other day with Nicholas Cruz with the shooting. There were 3 people in that jury because of their personal beliefs. They would not condemn him to die, even though he killed X number of people. You have to take that into account. There's a lot of factors, a lot of layers when you got to give teachers firearms. I'm like, if these people go through like
you saying, because maybe we on a different wavelength here, bro. I'm not saying get every single teacher a gun. I'm saying just like my family, he's a real responsible gun owner. Like I said, I have friends that you never heard of, never made it back out the military because a military guy lost his crap.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Understand.
So we can do the what is serious.
No,
hold up. I'm in Connecticut. There's cats that walk among me and my children with a firearm in Walmart. So what makes him different than anybody else, bro? Because hold up again, bro. I hear your argument. I'm not saying get every teacher, because she's a teacher, give her a gun. Because like you said, she could be a 5-foot woman, a big guy can take her over and get the gun from. True indeed. But those are scenarios that I can do that to a police officer out here every day.
No, facts. I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is,
I hear what you're saying, but it seems like you're making a joke like you don't want kids, but I do. I ain't gonna lie. I do.
I was in that position in the classroom. Okay. And I'm just saying that some of the people that I work with, I just know they could not handle it. We could tell them they're gonna go for 8 hours of training, the 24 hours. Florida doesn't require that much training. I wish, like, if you really wanted to be an educator and you carried a firearm in the classroom, at least some type of 1 month type of summer boot camp to really get you to really get you physically ready, because going to the range is not going to be enough. And then and I've seen other people state also in the chat, some teachers treat other demographics different.
Yeah. That was the conversation the young lady was giving me today.
That's another concern. That is another concern. Because I was a byproduct of that school system, and I saw it happen to other kids too. And there were divisions amongst educators who were like, "Nah, you did that kid wrong," but there were implicit biases there. So
I get that too.
It's a catch-22. It's a real catch-22. Like, I understand what you're saying. Microphone, I do apologize, Villains. I'm gonna fall back. I know you be counting on I say that.
Because I get the because I was a young kid. I'm gonna tell you, young kid, I ain't gonna lie, we got guns in our schools, bro. So that's what I'm saying. So forget about the teachers. I had a gun in my own high school.
Thank
bro.
you. Thank
So
you.
it came through the side door. I know how to get past the metal detectors because hey, we go out the side door, especially in New York. If anybody's in New York in the Bronx, where I come from, shit, you better have a gun, bro. You better have because you gotta be on that 2 train, 4 train, you on a 6 train. You got Dominicans don't play. You got the Crips, the Bloods, and every other thing across you.
No, Michael, I understand because I'm born in Bushwick, raised in Queens Village. I
just left it. I just left the Bronx 8 years ago.
Fam, but it's dealing with educators. It's a catch-22 because some of them don't even want to deal with the responsibility.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. But the ones who don't, you don't have to. You could be a gun on, but you don't want to sign up. But if you want to try like the military, if you want to sign up, then you got to go through the criteria. That's what I'm just saying. Yeah. Not give everybody a gun because every teacher who are a gun carrier like me, I don't want to be in nobody's school.
But you know what? It's gonna just come to a state where some of these schools are just gonna become police states. Because here's an example. When we moved back down here to South Florida, we lived in Miami for a little bit. And to get my oldest son out of school, you damn near it felt like going on base.
Yeah.
To get him out. But we moved up here to the suburbs. Holy cow. It was just willy-nilly. Hey, let's go. Just sign this off. And that's how that kid here in Florida got on that campus. Because it was just so willy-nilly. You know, it was just a different level. Like, it would never happen here. But it will happen out east. It'll happen down south until it happened in the most affluent area in this county. But just going back to it, every educator is not built for it, and everybody.
No, that's true.
Yeah, they don't want the a lot of them don't want the responsibility,
and they shouldn't have the responsibility.
Well, you shouldn't have. If you don't want it, don't take it.
Hey, Ray.
Go ahead.
Sorry, brother. You've been on here for like 10 minutes. All
I was gonna say, man, what I take is on you. I think
I'm gonna fall back. Let me fall back. I do apologize.
You were correct on what you were saying. Not every
you was correct.
You know, because I mean, people break under pressure. It doesn't matter what you in. I mean, I was in the military too, and people broke in doing the military basic training. Training, you saw a lot of people break. So it would be the same thing in the school system, you know. But one thing I do think is that the teachers should not be allowed to carry their own personal. What they should do is, go in there and check, like a firearm issue to them with rounds, and at the end of the day, they turn that back in. Because have is say, if that firearm, say that teacher lose it, say like if they bring their own personal and say it disappeared. A lot of them aren't going to say anything because they're going to be worried about, oh man, you know what? I lost my firearm. I don't want to report this because then I may get fired because I lost it in school. Or say it gets taken or whatever, So say they issue them first thing in the morning.
I agree with that.
Issue it out to the teacher, with with the rounds, and then at the end of the day, they check it back in, and that's how they should do it, during this that school week or whatever, And then
hey, I'm gonna slide this in there. I'm gonna slide this in there real quick, only because I'm trying to be as polite as I can. So kick up dust, what's popping, Lady Smith, young ladies, good to see you. Gina versus Gina, what up? All right, I'm done. Sorry, go ahead.
So, let me just say one thing about that. So I don't disagree with that, but I don't also agree with it. So if they have to check them in and check them out, now the school has to have an armory. There has to be an armory officer there to do all that stuff. Police officers don't check their guns in and out and take them home with them.
No, well, they have resource officers on most schools.
How are you gonna know who has them?
What?
Do you think now? All right. So, do y'all think that the students should be aware of what teachers are carrying a firearm?
No. They should be wearing a coat, or it should be concealed.
Yeah, it should be concealed.
Right.
So, that, I guess, along with that, issuing how, in what part of the building would be safe for them to go in and be issued it? Do they have to get there half hour early? There's going to be a lot of things to work around that.
Well, then you got to make sure that,
otherwise,
like a gun store, you can't break into it in the middle of the nighttime and get the weapons and all that kind of stuff. That brings a whole new level to teachers carrying in schools.
Right.
It'll have to be. I ain't gonna lie. That situation. It would have to be federal funding. because those are schools at that point you will have to find the federal government had to step in because those schools now going to have insurance, more insurance than they normally have, due to that fact. So it's a whole big win.
I think what we're talking about is public schools, and they're state run. They're state and federal funded.
But you got to remember now, the rider on that insurance, like just like you a gun owner, you got some states you got to have insurance. I mean, if you didn't take it, you take your life at your own risk. But I'm just saying, just like when you work for an armed company, they got to pay insurance on each guy, bonding or whatever y'all want to call it. They got to have insurance on each guy that works for them because armed guards in New York City, it don't have a full carry. They just come to work and get that gun, like you said.
But I think the difference is, so do police officers have insurance on them? Does the state have?
No, what I'm saying is a liability.
But what I'm saying is teachers are paid by the state. They're employees like police officers. They're paid by the city and the state. They're all in the same, under the same umbrella. They're not private security.
Okay, but I'm going over what the person said about having guns and the school gives the guy the gun. Now you're taking responsibility giving him a gun because he don't have his own gun. So it's almost like nursing. When you have a nurse, they have their own malpractice insurance. They have their own malpractice. Yeah, they're covered by the hospital, but they actually carry their own insurance in case they do kill somebody by accident giving the wrong medications. So there's a lot of things. It's not a clean-cut factor here. It's not because
it's run by the state, so it'd be like
it's going to be issues no matter how you look at it. If they, the school issued out the guns, or if people brought their own personal firearms, it's still you're going to run into issues one way or the other. Because if something breaks off and say a teacher has their own firearm and shoots somebody, that opens up another can of worms right there. I mean,
so they're going to have to have an insurance. There's going to have to be an insurance on that.
Huh?
It's going to have to be insurance on that situation.
Right.
I don't understand why they have to have insurance, because they're run by the state and the city, just like a police officer. So they would be under the same umbrella. They're not a private security system. They're not security. They're not. But I do agree. So the guns that the teachers carry need to be like the police. The police can't carry their own personal guns. The police officers, they all carry the same guns, all M&Ps or all Glocks. And
they're issued.
They're issued. The same thing with the teachers. So that way a teacher can't have it modified, can't have a muzzle brake on it, can't have an aftermarket trigger, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Hot Tub, what up? CDL, what's popping?
Yeah, it's just. I think it's been too many of these things that's going on in our school system, and our schools are become a soft target because they know that nobody's in there armed. Not even down to the what you want to call the school safety officer. He's just like a guy standing in New York City on a ladder looking at people stealing a tower.
No, he runs out the door when the guy comes in with the gun, like in Texas. when the guy's in there with a gun and the police runs out and the guy is in there for 2 hours able to shoot anybody he feels like it, and the cops are in the hallway like hiding because they haven't got the order.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
So now here's the thing: do we have expectations from these? Now, if these teachers are well trained and they are the first line of defense, and that defense fails, they cower, or they don't feel like they can take a shot because maybe it's too much going on, something behind the other, the active shooter or whatever. Do we start to blame them for not being trained well enough? Children are being hurt behind them and they're afraid to pull the shot.
I think
I'm just thinking these are the scenarios.
I'm going from my ex-military friends and the street gang that I came from and stuff like that. Listen, if you got 5, maybe 1 or 2 of them cower down, but the other 3 is coming through, bro. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You have a number.
I agree. I
look at it this way. I carry a gun.
I think teachers.
Oh, go ahead, Erica.
Sorry, Erica.
I'm sorry. I think teachers would protect. You still gonna talk, Billy? I think the teachers will help out their students and then themselves. These teachers don't want to keep dying over people shooting.
So I agree. I believe the teachers will shoot, but it's like I carry a gun. If I'm in Walmart or if I'm in the grocery store and a guy comes in with an AR and starts shooting up the place, because I have a gun doesn't mean I have to start shoot. I have to put myself in harm's way and start shooting him. If I'm next to an exit and I have my DAR with me, I'm hitting the door. Doesn't mean because I have a gun I'm going to use it.
Yeah, but you're not. But see, what you just said, the same thing I just said. Because you're not hired by Walmart to protect them. But if you take on that role as a gun owner and you're gonna take that role on in your school, whatever school you in, you taking that role just like firefighters. Just a bunch of. I'm from New York, bro. Listen, 9/11. Yeah, they took the job, but they knew the job came with a price, and they paid the price when that building came down on them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some are still paying the price of Kansas. You took that. When you go into the military, no kid in America right now is going to the military thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna get killed tomorrow." No, he went in to try to get him what they call a government loan, go to college or make a better life. But then he got called over to Afghanistan, some of mine, and never made it back home. He never, in his mind, thought he was never going to come back home. So when you take the responsibility, you know the course, just like every police officer. Just recently, just here, I don't know if y'all heard it yesterday, two police officers died the other day up here in Connecticut. They went to a domestic violence call and never returned home. And one, his wife is still pregnant. She ain't gonna have the baby next couple of months, bro. So when you take all that task, then that's the task you take.
Yes, it's
just like firefighters. You take that risk, never coming home.
It's fight or flight, you know. And the thing is, you don't know what's going to kick in at that time. You know, I mean, you know, somebody could start shooting. The next thing you know, it might kick in your mind. Damn, let me get the hell out of here. You know, but then you could be in there. Somebody starts shooting or whatever. You know, you might be in that frame of mind. Well, hold on. You know, let me see if I can neutralize this situation. So you don't know how you're going to react to the situation till that situation arises.
That's right. Doesn't matter how much training you have.
Yeah,
you go.
Yeah. You know, you can train every day, all day. Go out here, hit targets. You know, clear
like
all that stuff or whatever. You know,
I wasn't in the military, but I've been in a firefight, bro. And let me tell you something. Like Bruce Lee said, boys don't shoot back. You can hit all the targets you want. It doesn't shoot back. It's when somebody's shooting back at you, that's when it gets real. And I ain't got to go into the military and be in Afghanistan. I was just in the Bronx. We talking about firefights. We was in firefight. I mean, bullets everywhere going right past your ear. You like, if it came a little bit over, it hit me in the eye. I heard it go ping. Oh, shit. Really? So firefights doesn't mean you got to be the police department. You can be in a fight. Things happen. Like I said, if 5 teachers is in a school with firearms and 2 cower it down, like y'all said, take off and run, right? You got 3 more there. Somebody's gonna do the job. That's just like a gang, a police department, military. As military guys can tell you, when they hit that L, some guys cowered up and laid on the ground like this. And the other 5 or 6 of them start shooting, got themselves out of that situation, and cussed the other ones out when they got cleared. Seriously. It's just like in the hood. It's like the police departments. All those cops ain't running to shoot everybody. Some of them going to huck behind cars, and other ones going to actually shoot you. So 3 out of 5 will come to the call of duty. Just like a hood, bro.
Let me ask you this. What's your opinion on the aggressor? If there's a firefight in the school, you can hear it, you know, whatever alarm goes off, do you expect those armed teachers to stay and protect or to seek out the shooter? What would make sense as a parent?
Well, for me,
get as many, armed teachers near.
If that teacher is teaching a class and they hear shooting and they have the opportunity to get their students out of the school, that's their first responsibility is get those students out of the building. Once they do all that, then they can make the choice to go back into school and look for the guy. But their first job is to keep those kids safe, and that's get them out of the building.
Yeah, because you never know if the guy could be he could probably hit the first classroom with an armed teacher. Armed teacher right there, take care of him. Hopefully could take care of him. You know what I mean? So you know, because now
we're all on here, with our thoughts and perspectives. But I asked a young lady to come on tonight to give us a more realistic view. And this young lady is a school teacher. Y'all all know her already. Y'all know her already, but I'm appreciative that she took her time to come by. So there we go. What's up, girl?
Hi, can you understand me?
You got it? Ooh,
Yes.
you weren't lying.
I know that's what I told
That's
you
all
my
right.
voice.
How you feel?
You know, I could be better, but I'm here.
Take
I'm here. Hi, everyone.
I
Hello, good
appreciate you.
evening. So I'm just sitting, listening to the conversation, and this is very interesting. Um, I've been teaching now for over 10 years, and I am still teaching. I'm still in the classroom. And yes, I do believe that teachers should be allowed to carry. Um, Not all teachers should carry. I do agree with that. I don't mind um, having a weapon issued to me every day, and then I'm allowed to carry. I did hear what Erica was saying about how uh, elementary teachers probably shouldn't carry, but maybe middle school should, and definitely high school. The school where I am teaching right now, it is a mixture. We go from pre-K to eighth grade. Um, so with that, I want to be allowed to carry on campus, even though I have elementary students on campus. Number one. Number two, it would be on my person. I do agree with that. I don't think it should be in the desk. Why should it be in the desk? Um, I have had this discussion with some of my students already. It actually came up, I think, the first week or second week of school when we were talking about uh, emergency preparedness. And
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember exactly what started it, exactly the sentence or the question that started it. But um, it was brought up, well, what if there's an intruder on campus? And I said, well, we do have an officer on campus at that time. And another student said,
Mm-hmm.
we only have one officer. I said, yes, we only have one. This is the big campus. We have nearly 1,000 students. We only have one officer. And the campus is kind of large.
Wow.
Not so much spread out, but it's just built up. A lot of different classrooms.
Right.
And I said, you know, on a personal note, and I probably shouldn't have brought it up, but I did it anyway because that's just me, and it was my classroom. My daughter wanted my classroom. I said, well,
Mm-hmm.
I think that maybe some teachers should be allowed to carry. I said, maybe some trained teachers should be allowed to carry to help you all. I said, what if I were carrying right now? How would you feel? And they kind of looked around, and one student, he started talking. He said, I wish you were carrying right now. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, if we only have one officer on campus, I would feel more safe with you or another teacher carrying right now. So then I said, okay, how many of you, I was speaking to the whole class, how many of you agree with him? And I kid you not, all of my students raised their hand. I was shocked. This is over 20 something students that I have in my class. All of them raised their hand. And
Wow.
I said, I don't believe you all. I said, I think you're raising your hand because of your friend. Maybe your friend is raising their hand, so you want to raise yours. They said, no, we think that teachers should be allowed to carry. We would feel more safe. I said, this is interesting
Yeah.
because the politicians don't think this. The parents don't think this. But you're in the trenches. You're in the classroom every day. You say that you would feel more safe with teachers carrying. So this same student came back to me the next day, and he said he talked to his mom about it. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm about to get fired. Oh my goodness. But that's okay because they're hiring teachers everywhere, and I'm a good teacher, so I'll get hired on anywhere. But I'm about to get fired. He said, I talked to my mom, and my mom said the same thing. She said she wants you to be able to carry. She would feel more safe for me if you would carry, and she knows me. All right, she knows me a little bit outside of school, so we see each other at the football game and everything. But that's just a different perspective on it. I don't think it's really fair that my 2A rights are supposedly taken away once I step foot on campus. I'm not even supposed to have it in my vehicle. You know, it's like I'm less than a citizen. I don't think that's fair. But I am in talks with one of my senators about it. You know, it's still a back and forth, and a big issue is insurance. The schools having to pay for insurance. If it's a public school, you know, that would be state funded. If it's a private school, they get to choose what they want to do. But finding an insurance company who would be willing to cover teachers, not every teacher, just certain teachers, because I agree with Rodney that not every teacher should carry. I see teachers around and I'm like, oh hell no, you absolutely should not be carrying.
I was going to say that within your general peers, are there at least 8 other teachers that you would trust?
Yes.
In your school alone?
Yes. You got to remember, it's a big school. We have over 50, 60 something teachers. So there's definitely at least 8. There are more who I know would take the training and could carry on them and feel comfortable and would rise to the occasion if that situation were to arise where they would need to use that firearm on an intruder. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it's not easy. I mean, y'all got a hell of a job. Erica home teaches Alex and her hair is turning gray like that. So listen, alone from what y'all have to do as a teacher, as a second parent almost, and that added on top of it, I know that it's not going to be, you know, an everyday thing, but there is a lot of training that would be involved. As far as I hear, some 150 hours of training, target training, scenario training, and they're running training courses that ain't shit to what I do at my damn range.
Yeah,
they're clearing rooms, they're welcoming, taking on intruders from other sides of closed doors with no windows on it. It's intense, y'all. It's for it's like for real. It's probably worse than comparable to SWAT, if you can imagine that. So
there are schools
they're not just saying,
right.
"Hey." Yeah, there is. A lot of schools in the Dayton area are doing it. A lot of schools in Texas. It's a big deal. Real deal. I know you're about to say something. Go ahead.
Well, it just made me think now how we talk about how in this day and age we need a different level of cop. Well, I think the same thing applies to teachers. At this day and age, we need a different level of a teacher.
There you go. Yep. You hit it right on the nail.
True.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's a new age.
Right.
There's a lot of younger, hip teachers. A lot of I think social media plays a role in what teachers can be up to par on with what these kids are doing, seeing, learning, between entertainment, music, style of fashion, stuff like that, dance. A lot of these teachers are getting involved. I've even seen teachers with TikTok channels, with Instagram channels, my what do you call it, YouTube channels, all that. So there is a little bit more of a bridge being closed between student and teacher. Not in our days, I think it was more like, the mean old hag, on her way out, retirement,
But
so I think there is a new breed of that.
I just want the chat to know, like, this is just opinionations, whatever, right? But here it goes. I heard 2 teachers come up here. 2 teachers, or one would say he used to be in the profession, one's in the profession, where like you can work at McDonald's. Like me, I came from MTA in New York City, right? Yeah, there's some guys shouldn't even been driving a bus, right? But that's okay. I don't care what job you have, as a worker right now, McDonald's don't need to be working at McDonald's. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have individual people that we work to say, hey, they shouldn't have a gun. There's police officers who see other police officers, no, they shouldn't be police officers. So it does. I don't want them to give teachers a bad name in the sense of saying, I'd say some colleagues that shouldn't have nothing, shouldn't be around kids. Because I think any job situation, you're going to have somebody who need to be there. There's some principals don't need to be there. There's some superintendents don't need to be where they're supposed to be. Police officers don't need where they be. And there's some gangbangers don't need to be where they need to be. Because they ain't cut out for the shit. But I'm just saying. It's just so we talk about the ones who are willing to take that call of duty. That's what I'm saying. And everybody's not willing.
Yeah.
When I say that these cert teachers should not be allowed to carry, I don't mean they should have their rights taken away from them. I mean, maybe they shouldn't be carrying on campus or while at work because they are indecisive. They are fidgety. They are quick to anger. I don't think that those teachers should be carrying on campus. Whenever they step off campus, fine, do what you please. I'm not taking that right away from them. I might not want to be around them when they're carrying off campus.
I'd rather be around them type of people right in Walmart in Connecticut. In Walmart, fully armed to the teeth.
Right. Now, another thing. Fun fact, I have carried on campus before. I have not carried on this campus. Before I went back into teaching public school, I taught at an independent school that I had opened. And I had students there on campus. We went from K through 12th grade. And it was a very small school. Not that many students, less than 100 students. And I loved it. But I also carried while I was on campus. There were no issues. And because I taught there, but I was also an executive director, I ran the whole thing. So I ran drills with my students. And they all knew, well, most of them knew. All of my older students knew that I was carrying. My younger students, they didn't know. But yeah, I have carried on a campus before.
Because when I worked with transit had their own armed system too, and they had guns that sat in the safe that was in the office, right? But at one time I learned that the fire chief that's in New York City carries a gun. They're licensed fire chiefs are in New York City is licensed to carry guns. They carry guns on them. The fire chief in New York City, I don't know about any place else. The fire chief, not the firefighters, but the commanding guy, he has a gun. It's concealed, but he has a gun on him.
Let me ask y'all all. Let me ask y'all all your opinion on this too, because we're not too far from the days that students were taught how to manipulate firearms, firearm safety, accuracy, our marksmanship classes and all that. How do y'all feel about that? Do you feel like we should get back to that? Fat guy with guns, welcome in there, big fella. You go ahead with that question if you got a second.
About training kids how to use firearms?
Yeah. I
don't see why not, honestly. I mean, and from my perspective, of course I'm gonna say that. Somebody else is gonna come behind me. Somebody else is gonna come behind me and they're gonna say no. I mean, I don't think there's a problem at all. I think kids should learn. I mean, but I think it's my responsibility because I'm a guy with a lot of guns, so my kid needs to know how to use guns. But I think other children should too. I mean, we did it for a long time, and all of a sudden there was this shift where everything just became dangerous. Personally, I think things have always been a certain way, but I just think now you can see everything in the 24-hour news cycle, and with all of the information that's floating around, it's still the same. I mean, I think children should learn.
Yeah, I agree with Zach. They should learn, but from a legal standpoint, because of the way things are, and the people that you have who are against guns, that's where you'll run into the problem. Because you got a lot of people, who don't want their kids, being around guns, dealing with guns, or dealing with people with guns. So that's where you'll run into an issue at.
Then don't let those kids train. I still believe it should be the parents. The parents should give the permission. On anything. If there's something being taught and this parent is against
True
it,
that,
then they
true.
don't teach my son that, or don't teach my daughter that. But they should if it's available, and I'm like, yep, I'm that type of person. I'm an American. I believe in shooting stuff up. You need to learn. If you're gonna have some qualified people that are gonna come there and teach them and train them, then I'm all for that. Go ahead and teach them.
It could be an after-school program.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It could be something funded like you have these people who it could be funded by somebody who need you can create jobs. Honestly, think about it. You can create some sort of income for somebody.
Aren't there high schools down where y'all at? Well, some of y'all guys that have skeet shooters, they have a team.
We used to have that. We used to have that here. They don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's more down in Florida.
We have something called
H. They do skeet shooting. They got a skeet shooting team.
Yep, we have 4-H down here. Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
they do archery.
It used to be, we used to be high school kids used to go deer hunting before school and then have their shotguns with them. And then when they went to school, they said they had to take their shotguns into the principal's office and then they get them back at the end of the day.
What state was this?
That don't happen anymore.
What state was that?
There used to be a lot of states.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So siege.
Well, we're talking now. This is like years ago.
Yeah.
We're not
Siege,
talking
what
about
up,
back here.
Okay. So people who's watching this chat,
Mr. Bullshit,
there were guns at one time because I know Florida have skeet shooting. They have skeet shooting teams.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they used to teach shooting in school.
Yeah.
That used to be a program.
When you could, but that's back. I guess that's back when you
no, that's not that far back, bro. That's not that far back. I was just down in Georgia and Florida. They still have them. They still have skeet shooting teams in high school.
Yeah.
Huh?
Maybe
the 4-H club is what we have down in this area, Georgia. Everybody knows Black Poindexter. I'm not sure if I don't think he's in here tonight, but
Poindexter
grew up in.
Is that Irie? Yeah, Patrick Irie saying in Connecticut they have some gun clubs here in the schools. Okay, so I mean my kids are in elementary, so I'm in Trumbull. I think she asked that question where I was at because she's in Connecticut. So they do have school shootings. I mean gun clubs, so they still have them. I just my kids ain't that big enough to whatever.
Yeah, that's weird. That's in Connecticut.
I think it should be. I think it should be taught in schools. A waiver signed off by the parents and whatever approvals you need. But at the same time, now here we go. Here's the real thing. A lot of people are saying that we should, train these kids on firearm safety. But in order to do that shit, sometimes you have to have firearms present. Now, are we still cool with teachers carrying firearms? Because who's going to teach these kids how to use firearms, how to marksmanship classes, all that shit. So I think those two things should be hand in hand. So if the teachers are being trained, I think the students should be taught at least safety classes. And I'm not talking about like hurricane drill or tornado drill that happens like once every 3 months. I'm talking about like a weekly class, what to do, essays writing on what to do in this scenario, that scenario, personally.
Okay, so let me just go off of what I have seen. And maybe it's just the kids around here. They're different from everybody else's kids or where you all are. I'm hearing you say, or other people in the chat say that the kids will be curious. Kids not really curious around here. They already know what the deal is. When I said there was a resource officer on campus, he's no longer on campus. He quit. All right. So we don't have an officer on campus right now. But when he was there, and he was there last year also, he would go into the classrooms. The kids would all come up and hug him. I would be right there with them a lot of times. They would come up and hug him. They would give him fist bumps. No child, no student, even my little pre-K students, because I used to be in pre-K. I used to help in the pre-K classes on my off time, which is not really off time, but I digress. None of them ever stop to say, "What's that? Can I touch it? Can I hold it? Why do you care?" None of them ever stopped to say that. None of them ever reached for his firearms. Right. It's normal because they see police officers all the time. He carried a 17 on one hip and a 19 on the other side. No student ever asked him about any of his firearms that I saw. Now I do have my older students. Some of them already shoot. Some of them shoot and they're not supposed to be shooting. Some of them shoot because their parents allow them to shoot. Others of them have things that they're not supposed to have. And they don't know what the hell they're doing. And I've had parents approach me because they know what I do every week, every other week, and say, "Hey, can you take my son to the range? Can we all go to the range on this day, that day?" That's the only curiosity that I've seen. I haven't seen it among students with a person actually carrying inside the classroom yet.
I think it's just the point of as time goes on, they'll just get used to it. It'll be such a part of the normal program, and there's always going to be some children with interest. There's going to be children whose parents have firearms, that they even shoot firearms. The conversation might come up, and believe me, in my personal opinion, I think it'll be a healthy conversation. For these kids to be able to kind of relate, have something to find a common ground on with a peace officer or with a, I'm not sure what they call them, SROs, right?
Right.
Student relations or something like that.
They call them public
I definitely
officers. They call public officers here, I believe. They call public officers. Around the colleges, I think they call them public officers. They're like the school security. Some of them armed, some of them not armed.
I think what it boils down to is the students don't have a problem with people being armed, and in the beginning it may look a little weird to them, but they'll get used to it they'll get used to it really soon. The problem is the anti-parents who don't like guns. That's the issue. It wouldn't be the students, it'd be the parents.
It's always going to be that.
I didn't like seatbelts either, but I put them on now. You know what I mean? I got used to it. When I was around, when I drove my vehicles, I never had to wear a seatbelt until that law came in effect. And I got a couple of tickets because I was like, it was unknown. Like, seatbelt, oh man, what the fuck? Then it becomes a norm. Like you said, it becomes the norm. When I get in my car now, seatbelt goes on. It's automatic. It's just something. And I remember, like I said, 15 years old, had a car in New York City, never put a seatbelt on. But they made it part of your life now. Now you don't have to tell nobody. Soon they get in their car, the first thing goes, okay?
But the parents who don't like guns don't want the guns in the school. What they rather is everybody turn their guns in. We live in a society of picking flowers, and nobody will have a gun.
Always a bad guy. It's been bad guys before Jesus came on set, bro. It's bad guys. Bad guys ain't going nowhere, bro.
But they don't want guns. That's the bottom line. They don't think people should own guns. They don't want guns in their schools. And
living in a fantasy world. Like I said, there was bad guys before Jesus came back to save some of y'all souls.
Yeah, and people think because you throw your plastic cup in a blue bin that somehow you're saving the world. It's all illusion.
So it's always going to be bad guys. It's always going to be. Ladies and gentlemen,
this is when the conversation goes.
No, I'm just saying it's always going to be a bad guy.
Of course there is. And there's no guns. People grab a knife and stab you to death. But anti-gunners don't want guns in school. They don't care that there's going to be always bad guys. That's not their train of thinking.
Yeah, and so to tell you, it's more people get killed by drunk driving than guns in America.
More kids die in pools than they do by gunshots. But guess what?
Let me ask you a question.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Go ahead.
I know I have a sorry. So do you guys rather have officers rather than teachers carry?
Hey, sweetie. I think, baby, you gotta come here with me. Sorry.
Yeah, you breaking up.
You're a
Yeah,
robot.
All right.
Sorry.
Wow. Okay.
So, we're gonna take this moment to shout out to the dude, Nola Gun Guy. What's popping? Sorry, y'all. Who did I miss? AK Lover, you slid up in here, brother. I mean, I'll say it different. AK Lover, what up, brother? Sorry, she good. Go ahead, bitch.
Sorry, everybody. I had a quick question. So, for the parents who don't want teachers to carry, would you rather have off-duty officers on campus or officers, period, on campus?
I don't think there's anybody here that doesn't want.
That
I don't
doesn't-
think.
Or would
Shoot.
I'm actually
Yeah.
because like our
about that.
high school have police officers on campus.
I'm conflicted about the whole teacher carrying.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was for it at one time, but
Yeah.
things have transpired that caused me to have a little pause on that because of the way that our children are viewed in particular. I've had a lot of conversations. Billy knew what was going on with me with
Yeah.
school,
Hey.
and we had a lot of conversations
Yeah.
about because he's a bigger boy, treating him a certain way because even though he's a bigger boy, he's 10 years old. But there were some things that were said to him by different teachers, and he was viewed a certain way because of how he looks and because of his size. But he's a big boy. His daddy's big. He comes from big people, and he's 10 years old. So my biggest fear is that someone would react to him the wrong way, not treating him like he's a child. And it's because how that, and I tell him all the time, it's because of what my response is going to be. Because I'm not trying to hear anything. I'm not trying to hear, oh, we're going to call the police. We're going to fuck all that. If you hurt mine, no ass. And that's just that. So I'm very conflicted about that. It made me be conflicted. Like now the whole police officer, off-duty police officer thing, something like that.
You trust a police officer?
I can see that.
I don't trust a police officer.
I'd rather have teachers.
I just got pulled over in West Virginia by a police officer.
Yeah, but I can see that.
Videotaping this. Okay.
I can see that more. Just I don't know. It's not that it makes me feel more comfortable because I do believe there needs to be some means of defense there, but there's too much other stuff with it. When I have people who I know view. And this is what I say to the school board, my black son a certain way because he's a big boy and he's viewed and he's stereotyped in a certain way because of what's projected about who he may be. And they don't know shit about him. That becomes a problem for me when it comes to the police, when it becomes to teachers, when it comes to anybody. That becomes a problem to me because I believe in that old Hatfield McCoy shit, Mr. McCoy. You fuck with mine, there's going to be some hell to pay. I don't care if I got to go get you, your wife, if I got to kill your mother, your grandmother, whatever. That is the type of way that I think about that.
Damn, Zach. Hold on, wait.
Damn, Zach.
Because that's my seed. I know what it took to get him here. I know how hard it was for me and his mother to get him here. That's my only boy. Even my hard-headed daughter, same way with her. I feel the same way. So it puts me in a bit of a sticky situation because of how I feel about that and because of how I'm going to respond if someone does something wrong. It makes me think about the whole line of the whole chain of events that could happen. It makes me think
you're 100% right, but that's your child just walking out. Your child don't have to go to school to that bigot teacher, right? He can walk out the door and go to Stop and Shop.
I mean, I know that, but I came across. I send him to school every day. I send him to school every single day with people who I basically put in charge of his protection and taking care of him to train him. And I need to be able to feel comfortable in that. And because of some things that have transpired, it made me sort of back away from a stance that I was 100% on. It's because of an overreaction that may happen. And I don't want that overreaction to happen because then I'm not going to overreact. I'm going to respond accordingly because I believe it is my duty as his father. It is my God-given duty as his daddy to put him in the ground, bury him, and then go handle the business. That's what I believe. So as I'm sitting here talking to you, that's what I believe. It puts me in a real precarious situation. It just does.
Well, Zach, to kind of dovetail. First of all, let me say hello to everybody. How
What up,
all y'all
Marcel?
doing?
How you doing?
What
Kind
up?
of dovetail off of what Zach was saying. I got a kind of a question for the teachers. Like, I agree with the stance of teachers being armed, but what would y'all recommend as a vetting mechanism to weed out those who, like Zach said, are a detriment to our children?
Yep.
Because we do see a lot of teachers that come to school with vitriol against them black kids, and we got to be real about that. So, from a teacher's perspective, how would y'all go about vetting that to determine who's going to carry and who's not going to carry?
Let me jump in real quick, and then I'll shut up and let everybody else talk. So can we all agree that if you look at a certain race a certain way, that means you have hatred in your heart? Can we agree on that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So how can you tell what a man or a woman has in their heart? How are you going to weed that out?
That's the problem, real deal. I don't know.
But they're your police officer,
Yeah,
they're your
yeah.
doctor. But that just don't go just right there, bro. It goes where I'm telling you, my wife is an ER nurse. She's an ICU nurse, and certain things happen there too, bro. You come in there looking like me, you ain't getting the top line treatment sometimes because your Medicaid card doesn't pay for that treatment. So they bypass you, you just go home and die. But then when you're sure, so I mean, things happen, y'all. Bigotry doesn't.
Let me ask you a quick question.
They're your firefighters.
This is
they're your congressmen.
This is super related, but super unvetted. A lot of us put our kids on a fucking 20,000-pound school bus with a school driver that we don't fucking know, and we probably wouldn't trust if we knew him outside of the school. And we pile 60 kids on this speeding bullet, on this big ass speeding bullet. And all they had to do was take a 2-week course to get a CDL to be responsible for 60 kids in the morning and the night. And most of the school bus drivers go from the high school, they get done with that route, they go to the middle school, they get done with that route, and they go to the elementary school. So if you could put that into 180 students each day, so that's 360 students a day on a full bus, that we are not giving a fuck about who's vetted and who's not. But we're worried about 10, 15, not random, but I would say, meticulously checked teachers with firearms. We don't give a fuck about bus drivers, and those are more commonly death issues, automobile issues, accidents, etc., than firearms.
Well, Billy, the difference with the bus drivers and the teachers is that if whatever that bus driver does in traffic, their life is also in danger as well. So if they do something that's a detriment to them children, they put themselves in danger as well. Mm-hmm. Not so much in the same case with a teacher. Well, so no, I'm not against teachers being armed. That's not what I'm saying at all. I would just like to know, from a teacher, and since we have two teachers on here, from a teacher's perspective, what would be your criteria in setting and instituting that? Like, what would you have set in place to make sure those teachers are vetted, to make sure they don't have we all have inherent biases, but that their inherent biases aren't to the point to where they become a detriment in the classroom to the kids.
Okay, so I'm gonna speak up on it. All right. So to the hot tub, Tony, I would say that, of course, the teachers would have to go through the regular background check, the regular training, the psych eval, all of that. But also, I think you have to look at the teachers' past, all of their past jobs, and let's see how well they performed under pressure with that. That's a pass. And then,
how about social media? You think that should be vetted?
I think to a certain extent, yes, if they have social media. See me, this is the only thing that I'm on. I don't have all the rest of the stuff. So, but I think also you need to confer with the staff how this teacher interacts with the staff, with the faculty, and then also if it's going to be a teacher with older students, you need to have the older students input on it. If it's a teacher with younger students, you need to also include the parents' input. How do they feel about this teacher? What have the interactions been like with this teacher? Over the phone, meeting each other for parent-teacher conferences, maybe even off campus. I think all of that needs to be a part of whether a teacher should carry or not. It should be a part of the vetting process.
True that.
I can definitely agree with that. Also, if you're going I put a caveat on that. If you're going to ask them to carry, pay them more.
Yeah.
Because we already asked too much of the teachers. So they should be paid more if we going to do that and ask them to carry and be responsible for your children. Pay them more.
Yeah.
But I like that answer. That was a good answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can deep dive into one and check the psych value and all that stuff. I mean, that's the only the way. What you need to do is put them into some sort of diversity something. Because what you do is that's when you pull a person's biases out of them. When you immerse them in something and you throw it at them and make them see it, because they might not even be able to see it.
Yeah.
That's what ends up happening. You throw it at them and you make them see what it is that you're trying to say. Because we all have these biases. We just do. This is America, so we all have them, but people deal with them in different ways.
Of course.
And some people don't even see it and don't even know it. And once you throw it, and once you put that mirror in front of their face and they do, then you can deal with it to a certain extent. It's that person who doesn't want to deal with it. Because I've sat in front of people, in front of teachers, and say different things to them, and no matter what you say, they just can't see it. They don't want to acknowledge it, even though you're telling it to them. They don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to see it. That person doesn't need to be in charge of anyone and able to take someone's life at any given time. No, because you can't even see. Because that means that you, at some point, you may fuck up.
Okay.
And pick out the wrong one. So because you can't even see it.
Yeah, I know you would, but I'm gonna go with real deal because I think we skipped over what he was trying to say, and I think I could be wrong what I'm about to say here. When you were saying about so-called bigotry, right? I don't know. I'm born and raised in the Bronx. Bigotry just ain't white folks, bro. There's blacks that don't like blacks. I had teachers like that.
No, hell yeah, that's just.
So when you say like you make it seem like you worry about a white teacher messing with a tall, big black child, I'm like, I know some black teachers didn't like their own people, bro.
I'm talking out of my situation.
Oh, I mean, your situation.
Ain't no black teachers in my situation.
I mean,
I'm talking out of my situation.
Oh yeah, but
I understand. I went to school in New York City public schools. I know.
I was Evander High School, bro.
Kids.
You can't get no worse Evander.
I know that. I went to school in New York City public schools. I understand all of that. I had plenty of black teachers who treated me worse than any white teacher I ever had.
Exactly. That's what I'm just saying. It doesn't have to be, it had to be a certain bigotry because there's another bigotry that blacks don't like their own.
Well, let's take this off the table because it's not just relegated to. Ain't nobody saying it's just white folks. Ain't nobody ever said that because like a lot of stuff we dealing with here is we got Hispanics out here. There's a large Hispanic population where I stay at. And the vitriol is not from the white folks, it's from them. And so to squash all of that, that's why I asked what would be a vetting process. Because like I said, and I think I started it off when I asked questions, like everybody got inherited biases. That's something you're not gonna get past in America. That's how it's set up.
That's right.
So to bypass that, to identify those who will be a detriment with a firearm, is to have something in play, have a plan in place, which Southern Bell did come up with a very comprehensive plan for it. So that's what more so I was looking for, not so much to get on the racial aspect of it, because it's a lot of people who don't like a lot of people. So
yeah,
and I don't want to turn it into a black and white thing, but I know I'm like Zach. I'm in the mind frame of Zach because I've had to check a couple teachers about my kids. So we know certain groups of kids get targeted by certain teachers. That's just a reality. So to have a plan in place, if you're gonna say let's arm the teachers, you can't just say that and just hey, let's have at it. Well, you have to have a plan in place going into that. If you're gonna say arm the teachers, okay, how we gonna do this? How we gonna vet the teachers?
Yeah, and there's been teachers lately that have been getting into fist fights with students. You know what I'm saying? And that's a voluntary decision when it comes to that matter. And is that the same teachers that would have passed a psych evaluation, that would have passed a background check, that would have passed at all corners?
Okay. Real deal.
So let's say this becomes reality, right? So states allow teachers to carry guns. Mm-hmm. So you either go by state, and you pass a law, or you pass a federal law. Mm-hmm. And it basically says if your teacher carries a gun and you shoot a student, you go strictly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Because what circumstances can you justify being an armed teacher that shoot a student?
Well, real deal. I like that. But if we're gonna say that, the same rule should be applied to the police as well. That's a hell of a stance you took, and I like that. Let's apply that across the board. Now, as far as implementing it, it'll be easier on a state level to implement school teachers being armed than it would be on the federal level. And if there's something that anybody wanted to explore, it's not hard to do. That's what I'm saying. You develop the plan right here. Well, what get laid out in this on this podcast, you lay it out, and you can take that to your local school board and have them vote on it. It's not a hard process, but you got to have it locked in place. What are you going to do? How are you going to vet them? What institutes a threat? When can they use deadly force? And have all that together. So instead of us just talking about it, hey, on an individual basis, you can take that to your school district and they can vote on it. Because if I'm not mistaken, them school boards got a lot of autonomy. They don't have to go to the state for a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So in a sense of saying what you say, like more likely if it came down to, they're going to go down to the same way they vet police officers, because you can't really tell, like you said, what's in somebody's heart. You really just can't. So you really can't. You can't. It's no checklist. It's no real checklist, because I could be fine today and my wife leave me tomorrow and my whole shit goes. So you got to have something in place of some type of alert system saying, hey, this guy he's going through some stressful stuff. Like you said, if he loses stuff or whatever, he's not going to let nobody know he's going through a divorce, bankruptcy. He's got some bad issues going on with him. Maybe start hearing voices. It's just one of those things that you cannot, it's not 100% foolproof. It's not. It's just like your police department, military. It's not going to be 100%.
Right. That's why I don't ride roller coasters, because I don't trust the carnies, man.
Well, I mean,
it's not a guarantee. So we can go back and forth all day, but this is what I asked a while back on Hands on the Dirt one day when that Texas thing happened. When is enough, y'all? Just ask yourself, when is enough until it happened to your particular family?
Yeah.
If it didn't happen to our family,
I hear
it doesn't affect, because this is a saying, as long as it didn't happen to you, really nobody gives a damn. We can talk all day, but there's families that live in that, bro. They live in that.
That's right. That Texas shooting was so disgusting that the police wouldn't act. Do you know one of the police officers on site, his wife was a teacher in that school, and he was going in that school to take out that shooter, and they ended up arresting him so he wouldn't enter the school.
Yeah, they stopped him.
They stopped him.
But here it goes. That's a whole nother ball game. Whatever that story right there that everybody's hollering that story is more to that. That's political something. It's more to that. That's not a Sandy Hook situation. That what you're saying, guys were standing there with hand sanitizer and shit, holding the people.
But the argument to that is they didn't do anything. If teachers were armed, they could have done something.
Yeah, but when we talk about those police officers standing waiting for a call or whatever that they was waiting on, That was political.
They're waiting for
That's
a
not
hostage.
political. That's not. I got to disagree with you. That's not political. That's
They're waiting
coward.
for a hostage.
What would you call it? What'd you call it?
That was absolute cowardness. No policy in place should have prevented them from going in there and saving children's lives. Nobody would have prosecuted them if they would have went in there and shot that man 30 times or 100 times. Nobody would have said nothing. So that was just outright cowardness. You can't. That's apples and oranges, bro.
Right.
They didn't do their fucking
all
job.
those police officers not near one, because the story was they was waiting for somebody to give them the okay to go away.
No, they're waiting for a hostage negotiator. Since when do you have an active shooter situation? You wait for a hostage.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Neither one of those scenarios is what happened. They said whose jurisdiction it was. The city police said it's the school board, the school's police department's jurisdiction. That guy came in and said, "I'm running the show." The police department couldn't go in because he prevented them from going in. That's what happened. So,
so please, Mr. Tony, tell me what you think that happened. I don't think it was coward. I don't think it was
that was absolute
coward. Definitely coward.
Coward is because you got guys got a shield. They got M16s, AR-15s, or whatever.
And they wouldn't go in and take them out.
3 of them guys could have been like, "Fuck this. We ain't waiting here. We don't care about no jurisdiction. We going in and we gonna kill this guy."
Exactly.
He's children.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody had enough balls to say, "Listen, you worried about policy? There's children in that room dying, and you actually are capable and should be effective enough to go in there and handle that." And you just stood there and just listened and just that's a coward. They got nothing to do with
absolute. That's and I would never let that police department off the hook. Not the police department, not the school police, and everybody involved in that.
Mm-hmm. The same thing.
I'm right along with you, Corey. Then that's political because, like you said, somebody said it was their jurisdiction. It wasn't their jurisdiction. It was. I mean,
the guy who ended up going in,
roll up like a blunt, a New York City blunt.
The guy who ended up going in, I believe, was a customs.
That was a shit sandwich.
He was a customs agent. Absolutely.
So he didn't give a shit about jurisdiction. Eventually, I guess he figured, "Fuck, I'm just going in." He decided he was tired of being there, I guess, and decided to let's go in. And then they followed him.
Okay, but let's say for argument it was political. All the police. So let's say it was political. Okay, but guess what? All the police didn't do anything, did they? So therefore, that's a very cowardice thing to do.
That's right.
Children to get shot like fish in a barrel, and they stood out there and said, "Oh well, we can't go in.
And it doesn't matter whose jurisdiction is. The current training, it used to be wait for somebody. They all that changed because I remember when the brother got killed here in Beaver Creek, who was in John Crawford, who was in Walmart, and the cops shot him like that. The week before, they had that training on what you do into a first-person shooter, and it used to be that you would wait. The training changed to it. No, you go in and you try to engage the threat to mitigate as much death as you can.
Yeah. And here's the kicker with the Uvalde police. They had that training.
Right.
The whole police department had that training 2 weeks prior to that school shooting. So they knew it was fresh in their mind from 2 weeks. This is what you're supposed to do. Go in there and handle business. And nobody did anything. So that's absolute cowardice.
So the difference is the police, and being a cop's a hard job. It's a job that I never wanted or will have. But the difference is the cops have a choice if they want to go in and out. The teacher is in a room with all their students and there's an active shooter going. They don't have a choice.
Exactly.
Anymore. And so if the teacher has a gun, at least they have a fighting chance to save their students and their lives to be able to take the guy out.
There you go. So you got to worry about a cowardly police department. There's a couple of teachers that might be at the call of duty. So that's why I would like guns. I would like not all teachers. Once again, let's not say all teachers, because all teachers do not need a gun. There's all people that are licensed to have a gun shouldn't have a gun. I know some people that's licensed with guns that don't need a gun.
Oh, we definitely know one.
Me as a homeschool teacher, I carry, so
you know what I mean.
Alex he's a carrying teacher.
Yes.
But you know what? I look at our bank system. I look at our political system.
Yeah.
They're all David Corey. I think Corey's in Texas, and that's what I'm saying. He's saying there's much more to that Texas story. I'm not in Texas, but I feel the same thing. It's more to that story, Corey.
At the end of the day,
he lives in Texas.
These people are all protected. why not our children? Why not our students? You know what I'm saying? And who's close enough to protect them when we can't?
The teacher.
The teacher.
But this is why I was asking questions that I was asking, like what would be the plan? Because I think we're all kind of in agreement that that having armed teachers is a good idea.
Not all.
Just develop the plans now. That's all. That's kind of my point to it is. Okay, we agree on that. Develop the plan right now.
You got that
way you don't let the politicians come up with the plan. If you have a solid plan of action, it can be presented to a school board. It can be voted on, and it can be implemented.
Yeah.
You don't need your politician to come in there. We have a tendency to keep waiting on them to say, okay, this is what the plan is going to be. This is we're going to do it. No, go up there and tell them that's what you want to do.
Oh, Shakespeare.
You don't ask them to do it. You come in the school board meeting and present the plan, present the proposal.
I agree with that, but the catch-22 is in public schools they get the majority of their money from the federal government, and so they get a big say so in what happens in the schools.
Okay, well then let them tell you no.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Tony.
But actually put the conversation, put it to the table, and make them vote on it, and then call them out. Say you voted against this. So if something does happen, hell, we tried to do it. This person, right, this particular board member, this politician said no. And then they got to deal with the backlash of that. But have a plan and put it forward. That's all you can do.
And I agree with you, Tony, 100%, because you know what? You got to start the steps. It may not happen tomorrow, and it may not happen when your child's in school, but you got to get the ball going.
And that's the first step to it, because that gets the ball rolling. Because if you're sitting back saying that we're saying that this is what we want, it's not a politician on here. So we can say it all day amongst ourselves, but if we're not demanding that of them, then it's pointless. Mm-hmm. So demand that of your school district, demand that of your state politicians. And those that don't acquiesce to it, hell, you know that's not the politician you need to give your vote to.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I see the comment says you can't make any school board do that. That's not true, because if you're paying, if you're paying to what's going on, paying attention to what's going on across the country, there is a movement with school boards being taken over.
That's right, because they get
being made to do different things because they're putting the people in place who are going to implement what it is that the parents want. So it can be done.
That's why there's power in voting.
It can be done. They're doing it all across the country. Good up.
I want to give everybody a FYI, because Zach hit on a good point. If your school board does not do that, run against them. It only costs $5,000 in most cities to run a successful board, to be a school board member. That's how all of your mayors and city council members get their start. It's through the school boards.
Yeah,
because it's the cheapest and easiest seat to run for. 9 times out of 10, you're running unopposed.
I forget what there was something I was watching the other day. There was a school board where, because the big thing now was with the CRT and stuff, and there was some stuff going on. There was I forget what part of the country it was, but they went in there. They wanted that school board so bad, they spent $451,000 on a school board election. Damn. And they went in there. That's like you might well that's like spending a few $1 billion in a national election or something. It's crazy. But you want to know something? They took that school board over.
That's right, and that's where the power is locally. Locally, that's where the power is.
That's why when we have these conversations, we don't need a national policy. Hell, in a lot of cases, we don't need a state policy. Start with your local municipalities, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Start small. If you don't have a candidate to run it your damn self. If you got the background to run it, everybody ain't got the background to run it. But if you find somebody in your neighborhood that you can get behind, put a couple of dollars behind them. Mm-hmm. 4 or 5 people put $500 up behind one candidate that we agree is going to push our agenda. And I guarantee you, I saw this firsthand. $5,000 in most cities. Not major cities, but most smaller cities, which the vast majority of Americans stay in smaller cities. You can get on them school board. and you can be that person that brings it up.
So, what do you think about if the federal government got involved in some situation of overtime? Like, okay, if you don't want teachers to carry guns and stuff, where every little town in America, every little big city, you can have at least one off-duty police officer. That's his overtime. Oh, you said, Can I finish? Go ahead, bro. All right. Because if you've been in certain Home Depots, I don't know where y'all at. Certain Home Depot have off-duty police officers protecting their stores because that's overtime. The stores pay for that guy. When the guys are fixing a pole out here on my electric pole, there's a cop that's off-duty making overtime, standing in front of the construction site. When y'all driving down y'all roads in the construction site, you see a state trooper. The company that's doing that work is paying that state trooper overtime. He's not on duty. He's an off-duty state trooper or police officer with a squad car who's getting paid. But the company is paying the guys overtime. When you got private construction companies are doing road work, they got to hire a police officer out of that town, especially in Connecticut. They hire a police officer just for that 5-6 hours. They're going to be out there fixing that road. So with that being said, if you don't like teachers having guns, what about saying, okay, federal government, this is a United States problem, right? You can do state to state if you want to, but let's do it on the federal, where the federal government gives them where they can hire overtime for police officers to actually monitor the schools. At least one police officer there with a squad car or some type of radio for backup if things do jump off.
Can I jump in on this one?
Okay. The feds will fuck it up.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. You want to allocate federal funds so they can hire off-duty police officers, correct?
Yes.
Okay. It's twofold to that. Number one, most school districts already have dedicated police officers to work in the school, and those that don't, yes, that would be a good idea to get some police officers in there, I guess. But I'm gonna dovetail this. I know police officers. The vast majority of police officers who work off-duty jobs don't take those jobs as seriously as they do when they're on duty. That would be my only issue with it. But I'm not even opposed to what you're saying. But most school districts already have that. Mm-hmm. That's what your resources officers are. Those are actual police officers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's kind of what we got in place right now.
And
Tobacco.
School shootings had the police officers, and they're the first ones running out of the building.
Just to back up what Hot Talk was saying, though, and just to back up what Hot Talk was saying, like the city of, Fulton County school system have their own police department. Like there are Fulton County police. There's a Fulton County school police officer. One of my homeboys, he's an actual police officer for Fulton County School.
I think that's all throughout, well, most of Georgia. I don't know down there with Billy where you are if it's the same, but I know in Metro Atlanta, every county, every one of the counties in Metro Atlanta has their own police officers that are strictly work the schools.
Yep.
Yeah, the large.
Why won't that be America? You telling me about one section? Won't that be across the whole America?
They got to vote it in.
That's on your state.
The parents voted this in, though. The parents did this, though.
I got what y'all guys saying, but why was
you can't do that.
No such thing. You can't. They told you never run for president either, but we did.
No, that's not a federal thing. States run the police department.
Right.
Those cities run the police department.
No, the state could run it. What I'm saying, it'd be federal funding. The first thing the state will say, they don't have the fundings.
You can't do it anyway because you can't always interject the feds into everything because they messed it up.
Yep. It's sometimes a conflict. It's a conflict sometimes too.
So the states who can't afford it, you just ass out then.
Yo, you don't need the federal government. You don't need the federal government to come and do that. You can do that on the state level. You can go to government.
I said if the state doesn't award your state say we don't have the funding to do that, so we don't have the money, so it just doesn't happen. So
you ain't asked out. See, what you do is you get the people, y'all go vote a law in to get a budget. Then the budget come around, and then you guys go fund it. Like you have to start from the bottom. Like you have to really go and get people out of their seats and go vote. You got to do what Hot Tub said. You got to get people to go out here and campaign and speak up for the people. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to represent y'all? Vote the most. That's where it starts. At like they're electing right now. They're having all kind of elections right now. People not even voting because it's not the presidential election.
Mhm.
But see, and this is the thing: we got to get out this mindset. The federal government needs to come save us. You're most effective on a local level to enact change that would impact you personally.
How you like that U.S. Postal Service?
Right. So if that's what you want, like you're in Connecticut, I'm assuming, if they don't have that in Connecticut, bring it up.
We have it. I'm just talking general. Shit, Connecticut.
And I would say to the people that don't have it,
at the Sandy Hook, this shit's locked down in Connecticut, baby. You ain't getting nothing. You got almost give a blood sample to get your kid out that schoolhouse.
I'd rather parents volunteer to go guard the school.
Just to spin off what Real Deal just said, man. Y'all know I came here to shake it up, man. So we need to do something, man. Y'all better let them teachers get them guns or something, because I'm the parent that's going to have an issue with, hey, look, if I'm worried about if my son going to make it home or not, he going to have his gun in his backpack, period. I have no problem sending my child to school with his gun if I know he's going to make it home. I don't care nothing about the law. I don't care whatever get in between him and making it home. My son is instructed to make it home. So we got to do something as parents so it don't go that far.
That's right, Billy. Get on it.
What's up, I just want to remind everybody.
Right.
These people are invited guests and they're supporters of this channel.
Absolutely. Hey, Billy, you know I was going to come here with it, man. Billy knew I was going to come in here with it.
Good evening.
Nah, I feel you though.
But yeah, that's my issue when we get into these conversations. We always acquiesce where the federal government needs to do this. No, man, the federal government can't get shit done on its own any fucking way, but you can do it on a local level if that's what you want, and they're not there, and your politicians are not pushing that. If that's what you want, and your politicians ain't pushing it, you go run. Go run for that seat.
That's why they gave us the power to make our own laws in each state. Each state has their right.
Is fucking the people. That's the only thing.
I understand what y'all saying at the local level, right? But most time things at the local level, the first thing come out those local people. Like I said, you can put them out, but there's not a budget because you get in office and you beat my family guy out of the budget. Doesn't mean the money's gonna be there because you became elected now. If it's
there absolutely is a budget for it. Right. There absolutely is a budget for it. It's where your municipality, where your local municipality is allocating the money to.
Wherever they allocate to that.
And
you always hear they never have money
to that program specifically.
Books. They don't have the money to replace the windows.
Because somebody done slid them some kickback somewhere so he can allocate the money somewhere else.
That's right.
Keep getting rid of the people. These schools do have funding. It's the parents that don't want to show up and
there you go.
So they only put the money into sports.
Right.
We see it plenty of times when we used to go to the school board. We used to complain, and then these parents would be like, "You're allowed to say that? Yeah, your child goes here, right? Yeah, you can say that."
The American people have
been money to go to.
The American people have been trained to be docile.
Yeah.
Anytime anybody steps up and you get loud, oh, you're violent, you're this, you're that.
That's true.
We're Americans. That's what this country is built off of bloodshed and fucking shit up. So
man, for real, they took everything. Ain't nobody gave this country nothing. They took everything. America took everything that we have right now. Nobody gave them nothing.
Stole it all.
All the way down to what is it? Eminent domain. All the way down to eminent domain, bro.
The country itself,
they stole the land. Right, they stole the land from people.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, all the way down to eminent domain. Like they're like, okay, we done taking land, but guess what? We're gonna put this eminent domain law in just in case we need to get a little bit more.
So I say all that to say if you don't like what's going on in your school boards, hey man, you be that change. You go up there and run for that school board, like I keep saying, and I'm gonna say it till I'm blue in the face. 5,000 fucking
Tony.
Man, you can win a school board seat just by putting yard signs out.
Man, every state rep that I know that's in rural Georgia ran unopposed, bro.
Mm-hmm. Tony. Everybody got quiet, Tony.
Yeah. I'm waiting.
I'm going back on what you said. In Chicago, they have police in the schools.
Okay, so what they got to do with anything? I don't live in Chicago. Don't bring up Chicago to me. I don't live in fucking Chicago. I don't think nobody on this panel live in Chicago. So why are we talking about Chicago?
Check this out, my man. Hey man, you so hostile. You don't scare me.
Well, you sound kind of. Hey man, I'm not gonna disparage. But
hey,
I'm tired of people bringing up Chicago. I don't fucking live in Chicago, so I don't give a fuck what's going on in Chicago.
All I did was just mention it that the police are in the schools in Chicago. That's it. You mentioned it, and I just mentioned it that they are in the schools in Chicago. And then you get irate or belligerent.
Okay, I apologize. I apologize.
I ain't Tony Gun Game or whatever the other dude.
He apologized. He apologized.
This is my question. Would you rather there be police officers in school with guns?
No.
Or rather be teachers in the school?
I'd rather Billy be there than a police officer.
Well, let me say this. As long as the training is there, what they're scared of.
I'd rather Billy be there than or anybody on this panel be there than a police officer.
All I want to say is that it don't make a difference, man, as long as the kids are safe. But what they're scared of, putting the guns in the teacher's hand, that the kids may get a hold to them, it may discharge, all that
training.
stuff.
All it is training.
Right, it's all but training, but accidents do happen.
That's training.
But accidents do happen.
I mean, accidents happen. Yeah. I done seen more police officers accidentally shoot themselves than kids.
Yeah,
I done seen police officers get their guns too.
I've seen police officers shoot themselves in the classroom in front of kids.
Oh yeah, that's on the internet.
Yeah, that one.
I'm the only one here trained enough to do this.
That's right.
Right. Bow.
Is everybody okay? Is everybody okay?
I just say if we gonna get it, we're gonna arm the teachers, train the teachers, pay the teachers. Pay the ones that are armed do need to have extra pay. They need hazardous duty pay, just like you get in the military.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. And my mama was a school teacher for 40 years. And you know what I'm saying? I know her love for those kids. And I feel like if my mama would have given her life, she's retired now. But if somebody had came in that school to hurt them kids, she would have got them between bullets and kids unarmed. And I would have rather her have a gun than not have a gun.
Because that's what they're doing now, unarmed.
Yep. So if we want somebody to get in between the bad guy and some bullets, the least we can do is give them a fight chance.
Right.
They hire security in the schools, the public schools.
Yeah, they did with the damn police officer. The police officers wouldn't even go in. They stopped that man from going in. His wife was calling him. His wife was saying, "Hey, baby, the man is right here," and they stopped him from going to get his own wife. First of all, let me say something. There's nobody in this world that's gonna stop me from going to my wife. So I don't know why he's going. Ain't no way in the world. They would have had to shoot me in the back. There's no way in the world. Nobody would have stopped me from going in to get my wife. But they stopped the man from going to get his wife. They were police officers.
Right, they arrested him.
That's crazy.
And you know,
teachers have skin in the game. Nobody else does.
Right.
Yeah. Nah, I'd have been in that room with my wife home. I'm sorry. I'd have been fired. I've been looking for another job.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
They arrested him. He didn't have.
Would you guys?
They arrested him.
Would you guys? Would you guys trust this guy with your kids?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd absolutely trust that guy.
That's my guy. 100%.
Let me tell y'all something. I got you in the school, and I'm willing to put myself between mine and me. So
I trust that man with my family in the day that I breathe, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Now, if you'd have put Johnny Gun Game up there, that's a whole different story.
Oh, God. Here we go.
A little different.
But yeah, I would trust anybody on this panel to be in the school to protect my children.
I think what Southern Bell said is right. If you do a real deep dive, it would have to be, some real. There is nothing is 100%. Nothing is foolproof. But you have to be a real deep psychological dive so you know who you're dealing with, and probably 90% of the people are going to get disqualified.
Facts, because they probably. I do know this. All of y'all know if I was at a school and y'all children was there, and I was in between the bad guy that y'all know y'all children coming home for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So you know what I'm saying. So that kind of trust we need to figure out how to employ that into the community and figure out how how can we start taking care of each other in that same manner outside of this panel. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, y'all brought up.
We have to start learning that we have to, and this is a thing, and this is I don't know if it's just an American thing or what, because we got it easy. We have to stop depending on quote unquote law enforcement, and that's the thing. It's a game. We've been duped. It's a mind trick. It's a mind fuck. Excuse me. To make you think that they're gonna come protect me. No, even if you pay attention.
Well, it's a catch. That's a catch 22 though. That's a catch 22.
That whole
when you
thing is bullshit. You don't have
to. Watch this, Zach.
It is.
Watch this.
It
watch this, Zach.
is.
Watch this, Zach. Alina, we don't wait on help. We what? We are the help. We are the help.
That's right. That's why I say something jump off. I mean, just because I'm armed and I can defend myself, don't mean that I'm gonna make it out. But I need the police to clean up the bodies. I'm not waiting for them.
At the very minimum. At the very minimum.
It's great. I hear y'all guys. It's great because if y'all don't follow me, I put a thing out here. Somebody stole my damn dog tent, y'all. I put a bear deterrent out there, and I had the same concept. Somebody come on my property. I was going to do this and do that. Then I learned the rules in my state. You just can't shoot everybody, bro. You going to jail. No, I'm being honest.
You can whoop their ass, though.
Stop. Seriously. It sounds fucking great, y'all. It sounds great. It does. And they tell you this in these classes. I know it sounds great, sounds macho, but you just can't go shoot every motherfucker. You better find your behind bars for the rest of your life. Pull up.
Nobody. And then right, you can whoop their ass, though, can't you, bro?
You can damn sure whoop their ass. You got hands.
If I walk into a situation, where there's somebody shooting children, fuck off.
No, we're not talking about
we're talking about somebody stealing some of your property.
They getting shot. I don't want to hear that. I'm worried about going to jail. There's children in there dying and screaming.
No, we're not talking about school, but you just couldn't run into school either because you can find yourself in a bad situation. I understand what we're saying is great.
Listen, if my wife is calling me,
if my children or anybody I know children are in there.
Okay. Bro, if my wife is on the phone with me saying,
"Hey, all right, I'm gonna give y'all guys a scenario."
That guy is right here in front of me.
That guy in Atlanta Paint. What's his name? Atlanta Paint.
Yeah.
Let me give y'all two guys a scenario.
Okay.
My farmer's out there in front of school. I hear kids getting shot. Right. I run my ass in there with my gun on my 9mm up in that school, and I fire at just say somebody. Bow, it's true. And I shoot. Hold up, and I shoot your little daughter that you just sold. Right.
Yeah.
Would you want me held be accountable because I was trying to go?
Absolutely. But again, training.
Yeah,
training.
Hey, I'm gonna
tell you why I say that. I'm gonna tell you why I say training. Hold on. Let me tell you why I say training, because I got a 12-year-old son. If you put me in the headlock, and I use the scenario all the time, got a 12-year-old son in there who's a fool with an AR. If you put me in a headlock and you're 30 yards out, my son can take that shot at 12 years old. I give him that head nod, and you won't see nothing else. You get what I'm saying? So it's all about training. And if I can train and I'm comfortable enough for a 12-year-old to take that shot at 30, I'm going to train for the worst. You're talking about, I'm not finna go guns a-blazing in some school like Bad Boys 3.
No. Like, because somebody can have a gun. Like
everybody's not the same. Everybody's not the same. Until that pressure hits you, telling me, and you out there engaging, people freeze up.
Telling me if you hear children,
that's why you have officers freeze up. So you can have officers
freeze all the time, but it's different.
If you hear guns going off,
it's different when the bullets zipping back at you.
But I'm saying, if you hear guns going off and you hear children screaming and you know they're dying and you
I'm not finna stand there, bro. I couldn't live with that. I couldn't live with that, bro. I couldn't live with it.
Homer, you mean the first thing you're gonna think about is if I may go to jail?
Man, I couldn't live with it.
No. I was just hold up. Guy, I'm not that type of guy. I'm like you guys, but I didn't put that noise up on YouTube for y'all. Don't get me wrong. I'm like Jay-Z. We all gonna fucking cry. You take mine, but I'm just saying.
But, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about a situation that I walk into, and I hear gunshots going off. And I know
babies crying,
and I hear babies crying, people getting killed. And I'm the first thing that you're gonna think about is, I may go to jail because I may make a mistake and hit the wrong person. I'll just be going to jail a fucking hero. Either they'll carry me out of there.
That's exactly.
Killed me. I wouldn't be able to live. I wouldn't be able to live with myself knowing that I was there to maybe do something and I couldn't. And those children.
I already don't get no damn sleep now.
What I was saying is, Once again, we're not talking about give all teachers guns. We're giving, like you said, trained professionals, whatever. And like you said, all the training in the world ain't gonna make go 100% either. You know what I mean? Because you got people in the military freeze up, been trained for this shit all their lives for 5-6 years, and got dropped off, freeze. So
it's a little.
But where you going with the freeze?
I'm speaking from. All I can say is,
I mean,
all I'm saying is, I'm speaking from experience.
Nigga, I was a gang. I'm still a gang member, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm speaking.
Yo, listen, I'm from the Bronx. I'm a gang member.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm just clearing it up. Like I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from
experience. Nigga, I got bullet holes in me, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So when I say that's what I'm saying.
Atlanta. I'm a cannabis grower. I got a niggas can run in my house with my 2 8-year-old twin daughters any day because I'm a cannabis grower. My shit got me fleek, bro. I'm Bronx all day. My brother, you cut my arm, it's like a New York subway system, bro. That's how New York I am. I come up in Connecticut and pick my ass down, bro. But I'm a cannabis grower, and any day now, a nigga kick my door in, I gotta be ready to go, baby.
Yeah,
because I'm a cannabis grower. So cannabis is many years. So I got 8-year-olds upstairs. They know how to shit. Just like my fly family, like you said, them 8-year-olds. Well, I ain't gonna know 30 yards. I ain't trusting no 30 yards. You good, bro? But I trust my 8-year-olds to get us out that situation because I'm gonna take that by micro farmer 4. It's mom, dad, and them 2. Now I got me a pit bull, the other from Kentucky, a couple of months ago. If you didn't watch my videos, I got
people not to cut you off, bro. Not to cut you off, bro. But people don't realize how powerful just having a dog in the house. I'm sorry, that's aside. Let's move just to shift the conversation real quick. Yeah. Having a dog in the house changes a lot of things with self-defense, y'all.
Right. You guys don't know how powerful it is to have a pet pig in the house.
That's right. That's right. That motherfucker can fight anything.
Right. Listen, man.
I take your word for it. I take your word for it, real deal. I take your word for it.
Man, I got a 9-year-old lab that, like I said, taking it off the topic a little bit. 9-year-old lab. She's getting old. Got me a new puppy to follow, to overlap her. Hopefully getting a German Shepherd by Thanksgiving. So like you said, things are getting wild. Things are shifting in America. And like you said, you could be sleep, but at least if those dogs get to them people first, it gives me a shot. It gives me a chance to get what I need to do, what I got to do. Put my girl under the bed, slide them under the mattress or something like that. It gives you, because the dogs, they might come in and take out the dogs in like 10 seconds or whatever, but it gave me 10 seconds to get my shit because my shit always wants to fail. You know what I mean? I'd be so scared sometimes my fat ass move on my bed the wrong way. It might blow my own brains out. So I ain't never too far away from that because I'm from the Bronx state of mind, baby. You ain't gonna catch me slipping. I'm just not slipping.
Billy, did I just get a horn?
Billy, control your live, Billy.
Hey, I'm coming up.
I'm just saying, I feel just like you guys because I'm so glad the school that my daughters go to has so far to me and from around here have that in place without armed guard, but you cannot walk into school. Like the school is locked down like a prison. Where, like I said, we went to pick up our kids that had a doctor's appointment. I'm telling you, it's like a 2-way door. The door, the security guard.
Yep, that's how mine is.
Middle, they lock that door behind your kid, and then the other door opens so you can.
I call it the airlock, bro. I call it the airlock.
That's the way it is here. I don't know how it is. I don't know how it is in Florida. Okay.
Now I want to bring something up. I want to bring something up because we got a lot of New Yorkers on the panel.
Yeah.
And this is my question to y'all. None of you guys live in New York now.
I'm only 50 minutes away.
Hold on. And since y'all been out of New York, y'all stances on a lot of things have changed. Or they may have been your stances from the start. But this is my thing to and I say this a lot to people from New York and California, is that you guys could have done that there. The same stuff that we got going on in the South and everywhere else where we got a whole lot more freedoms. Why didn't y'all stay and fight and institute that in those
I'm
states
gonna
where we
speak for
came
myself.
from.
I'll speak for myself. I left that goddamn place so I can sit here and enjoy my daughters. I don't know about the rest of the panel, but I left New York to sit here and see my 8-year-olds grow up.
You could have, but that's my thing.
I couldn't, bro.
Hey,
why you couldn't?
Had too many enemies, bro. So I ain't gonna be sitting where bro. I want to go out. I want to go out as an old man, bro.
I'm gonna say this. I'm same place Priam from. I'm from. We ain't left when if shit get too hot. And I say this about anything, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't leaving this state. I'm not leaving.
Nowhere, bro. You saw what I said. Well, I'm not bugging out. I'm digging in.
I got to stay and fight where I'm at, man. That's just my stance on that. So. And I'm saying it's not to condemn y'all because for whatever reason you left,
made the best decision you had to.
But for the people, for your family members that's still there, encourage them to fight. What is the fuck is going on? You see what's going on? Get the motherfuckers who voting for that shit the fuck up out of there.
I screw that. If you live in New York,
I still got
California, get the hell out. You live in
I got cats that's our age that's still in that trenches, bro. And I'm like, I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody. I ain't got to prove shit to nobody.
It ain't a matter of proving.
Hey, bro, I'm telling you how. You asked that question. I told you how I left. I still have 55 to 60-year-old cats that's still in New York City, still in them trenches, bro, at 60-something years old, still in them trenches. And if anybody from New York know what I'm talking about, there's 65-year-olds still doing their dirt, bro.
Jola had a good question.
It may be, but they deserve a fighting chance. To say,
I gave myself a fight chance. I got the fuck out of there.
I went through Harlem not too long ago, and I had that thing on me, and they thought I was crazy. They were like, "But these old heads, though, you know what they did? They were so entertained by it. 60, 70 years.
You can't have a legal gun like that in New York City.
Man, I'm a country boy. I had that thing in my pocket like it was legal, boy. So they was like, what? Like but they were so entertained by it, though. They were just so entertained by it. Like I'm like, man,
3 or 4 y'all.
I don't know if they was entertained by it, bro. They were probably just looking like you crazy shit, bro. Because most niggas in New York got a gun on them, bro.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about some old heads. There was some old heads
got guns on them, bro.
Yeah, they
was looking at it like it was the first pistol they ever seen.
But Billy, I gotta cut y'all off for a second. Just a quick Skilly.
Yes, sir.
I know you've been in here for 25 minutes and ain't get a word in.
I mean,
I don't even know how long you were down there, bro.
Oh, you good? You good?
I just want to say I apologize. How y'all doing? It's good to see you.
What's good, Skilly?
I'm doing all right.
Talk to me, Skilly.
But I do want to ask.
What up, Skilly? Get over. How y'all doing?
What's up, Tony?
Well, they keep talking because I don't want to interrupt grown folks. You know, I'm in here to enjoy the conversation.
Don't worry, they living.
I gotta look.
They reliving their youth. Right
now,
New York.
Now, I will say this to the New Yorkers.
Good.
Encourage the one, if you got family that's planning on leaving the state, when they get to wherever they're going, encourage them to become a part of that city, to become a part of that culture. Don't try to turn it into New York, because that's what I see a lot here in Atlanta. Is that we got a sizable population, and they do what they do is the same way it was up there. No, they're gonna vote for them guns. They're gonna vote for gun control and all that. When they get down to these southern states, they don't understand. We value our right to carry for specific reasons, historical reasons that we carry. And a lot of people don't see it like that when they come to different areas. They say, "Oh, it's a better quality of living. It's a better cost of living." Yeah, those had to be fought for at the barrel of a gun. Mm-hmm. That's why we embrace this culture so much down here, because we fought. We had to fight for these freedoms that we have down here.
You know they do, Tony.
It's not a fight that stops, and I ain't like I said, I'm not accusing any of y'all from the panel because I know where y'all stand on it. But I'm saying to your friends and family that's up there that's saying, "Oh, well, you made it out there in Ohio, you made it out there in Connecticut, you made it out there in Georgia. Let me come out there. All right, come on out here, get part of this culture, embrace it, but don't try to change it."
Man, a fun culture fact. A fun social. Go ahead.
people leave New York, they buy houses, and next thing you know, they're painting New York on their walls and stuff. Man, it's crazy.
Hey, look. So a fun Southern fact about me, man. My mama she managed a lot of groups coming up through, like, I don't know if y'all familiar with the Chitlin Circuit and things like that. So you talking about Sam Cooke and you talking about the Temptations and things like that. I got tons of pictures. Yeah. So she even got one of those green books. And this is something.
Oh, really? You got a green book?
Yeah. She got an authentic green book because she was one of the managers, one of the road managers that helped book the shows and things like that. So she needed to know where to go and where not to go.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? But I came up through that culture, and it's a whole different, like Hot Tub said, man. We had to fight a little different. You know what I'm saying? And it's a whole different way you move. It's a whole different feeling when you somewhere and they telling you can't be there, and you looking around and you like, man. I mean, you talking about her hometown still have segregated proms to this day, type still feeling like 2022. They still have segregated proms.
My wife from South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They just stopped the segregated proms in 2019.
Wow. Yeah.
So when you talk about the South, when you talk about the South,
mm-hmm.
people think to conflate. Okay, I'm going down south. It's Florida and Atlanta. That's the South. No.
You gotta be deep. Why?
It's Billy. No.
Billy, no.
It's some areas. Now I ain't saying where you at, but it's some areas that still some no fly zones
mm-hmm.
for a lot of groups of people.
Especially in Georgia.
Slowly.
Especially in Georgia.
That's something that we all got to be mindful of when we pop up in different cities. And as I've said this before, just talk to your people there when you touch down, man. See what the atmosphere is. See, because I know we like to say.
So basically, what y'all talking about is asshole New Yorkers. They not from New York City, my nigga. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Hold up, because y'all ain't gonna jump on New York, motherfuckers. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Because I'm gonna represent New York to the day I die, bro. I give a damn if I'm in Connecticut. I came to Connecticut for a reason. But y'all ain't gonna be bad mouth for fucking New Yorkers, y'all. I ain't gonna give a shit. Fuck what y'all feel like, bro. Hey, let me tell y'all. Hold up. I'm being real with y'all.
Be New York. We're not saying
New
that
York,
you can't
New York
be
got
who
some
you
spots
are.
that you cannot walk in either. It ain't just the South like that, bro. It's Connecticut just
I think you're misunderstanding
what he's saying is don't
New York didn't come down here to turn Atlanta to some motherfucking New York.
You're misinterpreting what I'm saying.
You know about we try to change Atlanta to New York, and he up we buy a house, we paint New York on the side of the house and shit.
Wherever we go, we try to make it like where we were from.
Yep.
And that's just the truth. Because we believe that where we from is the only fucking place that matters. And I know
that's where the world comes to meet, motherfucker. That's where the world comes. You win is where? Where do you win at? Where do you win at? New York City. Where Wall Street at?
All I'm saying is Miami boy came to Atlanta and tried that.
Boy, and look how that turned out for them.
The New Orleans boys came to Atlanta and tried that.
And look how it turned out for them.
You talking about gangs?
Right, but
I'm talking about
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you, big dog. I'm messing with you.
them motherfuckers first.
As soon as Southern Belle left, these motherfuckers went.
Hey, Billy, you know I'm gonna come in here. Billy, guess what I do, Billy?
Y'all gonna be talking about New York, bro. I'm sorry.
Billy, this what I do, Billy. You know this what I do.
Y'all over here gangbanging on the damn.
Gangbanging. I'm talking about people that retired and moved to Atlanta. People that retired and moved to Atlanta. People that retired and moved to.
Hey, Billy, it's New York fault, man. He don't want to show bullet wounds.
No, because you asked why he asked the reason why I left. I'm saying you was talking about experience, but the reason why some of us did leave New York ain't got nothing to do with better. Oh, well, for some people, I'm gonna speak for myself. You know what I mean? I left because I'm only 50 minutes away from New York City. I'm not way in the fucking boondocks. I'm just out the way of a gunshot. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Me, hold up. But I wasn't talking about gang. I'm talking about when y'all was talking about people moving to Atlanta. I'm thinking y'all talking about people that retired, not gangbangers and stuff like that.
We ain't even talking about gang. We talking about what I'm speaking of. When I say people from New York, you bring in that whole political mindset down here. You want to institute gun control in states where gun control has never existed.
Exactly.
That's
you say
I keep mine
New
2A,
York,
bro, and that's what I'm speaking on. You want
I moved to Connecticut. I lost my mind in a gunshot, bro. What are you talking about? I was dying.
He's making an example, dude.
Not necessarily you.
That's you, but the
Not
vast majority of
necessarily
them come
you.
down here, and bro, they get on some other shit down here.
Not necessarily you, bro, but like, you know what I'm saying? This white woman tried to run for mayor of Atlanta, bro. And she had that, she came.
A white woman.
Hey, look, but she came with that New York mindset, bro. They ran her up out of there so quick, bro. They ran her up out of there so quick, bro.
Hey. No, let me tell you something. When I moved to Connecticut, I'm from New York City. If they from New York City, they know we are not allowed to have guns, right?
We're definitely gonna know where he's.
Well, we didn't have guns. So when I came to Connecticut, right, and they gave me my clearance to get my firearm,
went crazy.
I was in there like I was on Black Friday. I was picking up so many guns. I was like, give me one of those, give me that, give me the AR before I'm grandfather with one. Give me that. I lost my mind because I had that New York money, and when they gave me the clearance, I lost my mind. You'll think I'm that lady that be shooting with her husband out there. Every week I was shooting a damn gun.
Bro said, give it to me before they change their mind.
I was that dude because I came to New York
before they change their mind.
Because I came from New York City, where if these guys are really from New York City, they know you cannot legally own a firearm in New York City.
Shit. You can legally own one in every state and every city.
It's crazy.
What happened?
My 2A does not come with a Kent. You can legally own a gun in every state, every city.
That's crazy.
What state? Who said every city?
What he's saying is there are stipulations. You can own a gun in New York City, but there's stipulations to owning.
It's a lot hard.
It's a lot hard. Y'all, so Fat Guy and my family, y'all from New York City. Can you guys really explain? This is your family. Explain about New York City with the guns.
It's very hard to get. You can purchase a shotgun in New York City proper. You have to go register it at 1PP, but you can get it's a lot harder to do.
Register.
You can get a shotgun in the city of New York.
Register.
Yeah, you have to
register because they don't know what it
is. We don't understand register, bro.
Right.
I don't know what that means. What are you talking about?
Register the vote? Getting a legal handgun is damn near impossible, but you can. There are ways for you to get you a shotgun. You got to take it. You got to register it at 1PP.
Okay, my question is, why is the reason we got a 2A? This is for everybody.
Oh my God!
That's that First Amendment.
But hold on, it doesn't make sense to me, right? That the reason why we have a 2A, right? But yet we have to have permission from the people that we got the 2A from. We need their permission before we can even buy one. That don't make no sense to me.
Who is we?
Well, let me say this.
Well, you know what I'm talking about, homie.
I'm in with you.
So hey, I get to go home now. So I hear the jailer come and unlock the door.
You got visitation. Hey,
yeah,
on that note, y'all.
5 hours.
On that note, but I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so damn
But I gotta
much.
go.
I swear to God, I do. We gonna get out of here, put this boy to sleep, take these dogs out for the last time. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Southern Belle teacher, you are amazing. Thank you.
Well, she gorgeous, ain't she?
Yo.
Yeah, y'all
easy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say one thing before I leave to all the panel here. I'm gonna be like Birdman. Y'all gonna put some respect on New York City, bro.
I'm gonna say this like I'm gonna say it like Andre Miles.
Billy,
y'all gonna put some respect on New York City.
Hey, Billy.
Sal got something to say.
Can I make a quick little statement? Can I make a quick little statement as to why I'm up here real quick? The fact that we are having this conversation.
Yo, are you gonna start a conversation?
No, I'm not. I'm just going to leave it with a statement. The fact that we have to have this conversation, about arming teachers should really open parents' eyes to homeschooling their children. Public school was created to make us the system's slaves, period. It's made to make us workers in the first place. They're not going to fix it. We need to fix it ourselves. And that's by schooling our own children. Sorry, that's all I want.
On that note, y'all.
And good job, Miss Erica. Schooling you ready. That's how we're supposed to do it.
Yo, again, I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Y'all be safe. Enjoy the evening. Let's do this again. Next
Hold
Monday.
on. I got something. No, I'm just playing. I ain't got nothing.
He's like, don't fuck with
Billy,
Detroit.
Billy, Erica,
Detroit up
Billy,
here.
Erica. With all due respect, I let y'all run y'all show before I came and shook stuff up. So,
Hey, I got Joseph Harris said I got an hour and a half out of the whole show. The rest was y'all's.
Hey, Billy. Billy.
Uh-huh.
Hey, if you don't mind, will everybody please, if you're not subscribed to OG $2 channel, please go and subscribe to OG $2 channel.
Can't do it. I'm already a member.
Somebody can drop that link. I don't know what you're talking about. Who?
We trying to get them to 1,000 subs, man.
yeah.
Somebody can drop the link.
We're trying to put it in the comments on the main video. So the chat link gonna go away.
Oh, hold on a second. I just realized something. I can drop this video. Hold on.
What's that?
I forgot about my mod over here. Give me a second. I'm gonna drop it.
Where the hell is underscore?
Man, that's too rich for me. I need an OG $1. I'll go over there.
OG $2.
I'm gonna drop it. Hold on.
Yeah, let me see so I can copy it down so I can type it in my phone.
Yeah, I can put it in the comments. Yeah. Hold on.
Might click the link, homie.
Yeah, if you want, it's out there in the chat. I just put it out there. Yep, just click on it. It's out there.
All right. I don't even know where I'm at.
Wait, did print leave?
The print's right there.
I wanted to talk to him.
I think he did leave. But either way, yo, I appreciate y'all. Y'all hit up OG $2. 3 the Hard Way is about to be something serious. Y'all keep your eyes out for them brothers. And again, man, I love y'all.
I just subscribed to him. I'll check out his videos. All right.
Good deal. All right, y'all. Let's do this again next week. We got the day off tomorrow, Zach.
Yeah, we do. Huh?
We do.
I'm still in the middle. I still owe too.
All right, well, shit, I got some work to do. All right, y'all. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Peace.
Appreciate you, my fly.
Peace.